right, everyone. I want to thank you all so much for hanging in there as we go ahead and get started on this wonderful Thursday evening. Oh my goodness, I can hear myself. Go ahead and get. There we go. But we are ready to get started with some more D&D. This time, of course, with it being Thursday, it's time for some more Song of Rapture, as DM'd by Monsieur Omen. We're all here. We're all ready to get started. So, without further ado, Monsieur Omen.
Last left our valiant vanguard. We had found them in a great and beautiful looking manner in a new nation, that of Illyria, being faced, at least with one of our members, with several faces of the past, those beloved, those charmed, and others almost feared. But how did they get into the situation, and what led up to this moment on this day is not really my story to tell. So could someone tell us what happened on the last episode of the Song of Rapture?
Previously on Song of Rapture, the valiant vanguard arrived to Inulin, Persephone's home city, where they were greeted with, well, hesitation, until Perse confirmed that she was the runaway Lady Valora, who had come home after hearing her brother was to be betrothed to Queen Titania of the Feywilds. But in the center of the city, flames crackled as chaos erupted. Chaos caused by Lord Lysarin, son of Queen Titania, and noble guest within the city. For fun, he had been testing his power against this supposed unbreakable crystal tree. And Theron, Persephone's old friend and captain of the guard, tried to persuade him to cease his challenge and look to the valiant vanguard for assistance. But he would not back down and looked to test his strength against the newly titled Dragon Lords. Small fiery fae took shape at his call and began to swarm the vanguard, blinding and restraining them if they couldn't dodge their assault. Tamar Khan, unafraid of fire, was quick to shove his allies out of danger, patting the flames off his fur as he went. And Swift Hollow made a show of her movements, dancing around the tree as she engaged with the Embry and showing off her prowess for the Lord's entertainment. But Lysarin wasn't moved until Quildor, quite literally, moved him. The shield of
Push him out of a tree!
Yes, the shield of Zamaria, Misty stepped up into the tree and shoved the wildfire prince right out of it, catching all of his attention. So he redirected his focus from trying to burn down the crystal tree to cooking the large elf in his own armor. Perse, not prepared for a fight on this day, did all she could think to do with her home that was now on fire, and called for more friends. Pixies popped into the plane, ready to put the fires out, but also dispel the magic that was targeted towards Quill, and give him the magic of flight so that he could catch up with the wildfire prince. Luna, recognizing how the Embry could easily overwhelm her companions, banished a handful of them, and stayed close to Captain Theron's side in hopes of avoiding attention. This kind of magic required her focus, after all. And Samantha Deus was willing to take on the prince's challenge to show the strength she possessed. Also, quite literally, by transforming her lower half to that of a giant snake, she constricted Lysarin, keeping him from being able to do much of anything, as Swift Hollow made her final leap, the tip of her dagger at his throat, but she would not end his life today. He only needed to know that she could. Lysarin called off the fight, happy with what he saw from the vanguard, and the group was shortly escorted to the royal chateau, where they would meet with Perse's family. Her brother Rael, who was overjoyed to see his little sister again, her mother Lady Santas Thespia, who bowed gracefully and welcomed the vanguard to the city, and then her father, High Lord Kylon, who upon seeing his runaway daughter had one thing to say: "We have much to talk about." Join us tonight as the valiant vanguard get to talk to Perse's family for the first time, and as we write another verse in Song of Rapture.
Very well done. Give yourself some DM inspiration.
Yes.
Alrighty.
That's right.
Haha. We'll get you to use it more often yet. As indeed we rejoin the valiant vanguard, having found themselves seated after a moment to break themselves away from the carnage in the Great Emerald Enclave, the grand spanning manor, at least a rather set of manors that are owned by the family who rules Inulin, that which Persephone hails from. After using some magic and confirming between themselves that during this conversation they would keep their own special conversation hidden away through the use of a telepathic bond, they were greeted by the remaining members of the ruling family, the brother of Persephone, Rael, her mother, Santas Thespia, and of course, High Lord Kelon, who Now, as they take their seats upon the throne, they would be followed along in suit not only by Theron, who seems to take a stance by your brother's side, Persephone, but also by a series of guards still wearing what looks to be this shining, glimmering silver armor of half plate along the long and winding hallway of this chateau. Between you all at your seats is a grand and jade and emerald strewn fountain that bubbles and burbles quietly, as it seems like soft and somber silence has fallen over the manor as the lord and lady take their seat. Lord Kellon is the first to sort of seat himself, looking over to his right to see his wife seating herself quietly. Her eyes seem to be fixated mostly just on you, Persephone, a beaming smile on her face. Before her, they seem to dance across the rest of the room, a bit excited. She sees many new faces and likely has stories behind them she's read. Rael looks on towards you kind of expectantly and somberly, still a smile on his face, but eventually he sort of looks up towards his father, who now sort of pulls himself forward in his chair, finding his seat comfortable, his long, flowing, elegant robes strewing across his chair. And the silence is broken as he looks out upon you, Persephone, and then sort of scans the rest of the group. It is my honor to have what I have recently learned to be the newly named Dragon Slayers in my city of Inulin. The title of Dragon Slayer is one held in high regard in the nation of Illyria, truly here in the city of Inulin. It is a pleasure to meet you. What exactly are your names, however? Such things have fallen by my ear. It is proper that a noble lord hears the titles and names of his guests.
But I was gonna stand up and take a bow. Lunar Dieter von Evensberg. As I look towards Persephone and telepathically say, I'm only doing this because I love you, as I sit back down.
Samantha stands up. Samantha Deus, blessed of the servant empress, Primarch of the valiant vanguard, and apprentice primum salem to Tenzin, and slayer of Obsidius the Pretender. He bows appropriately and sits down.
Tamarkan stands up. Tamarkan of the Immortal Kingdom, Your Highness. As I sit back down.
Quildor standing off to the side with John's finger to his head. Shield of Zamaria, finger off head. The Elven Sellsword, the Sharpened Quill, the Sand Whisperer, Dragon Slayer, Quildor.
Yeah, Swithhollow will stand up. Swithhollow of Brokenridge, my lord. She will take a deep bow, sort of gracefully extending her arms out.
A pleasure truly to meet you all. It brings me comfort to know that the company of my daughter has been held well in high regard with those of many titles and claims. As he'll turn his head to face you now, Persephone. And for, of course, bringing my daughter back to this grand city. A task that shall not go unrewarded. A place in this manor you shall have so long as you remain. We have many rooms abiding, names of individuals who would likely wish to meet those who have recently earned this great and illustrious title, and of course, the comforts of a celebration soon to come to this city. But truly, I am thankful for your return, my daughter Lavelora. It brings me joy to know that this gallivanting has come to an end, and you found your place within the walls once more.
Thank you, Father. Persephone stays seated with her hands just neatly folded in her lap and Usually a very relaxed posture, but now upright and stiff and proper. And not even smiling. Just attentive in front of the High Lord.
As to be expected. Secondly, I must offer a deep apology for the introduction you've all seemed to receive upon what I can only assume for most of you to be your first introduction to the city of Innilan. The wilds of our recent guests have caused some trouble among the people, although I can assure you that their endeavors, I suppose one might say, are truly harmless to the city and its people. Harmless being a very carefully used word. Lasan, the Wildfire Prince, has proven to be something of a nuisance, but truly in his nature he is a child, simply seeking out something to keep himself entertained as he waits. As are some of the other heralds, say for one. Quite troublesome in their endeavors. Though I do appreciate your efforts made to quell his destructive tendencies, I can assure you the Zendalurada had no capability of being destroyed. It is an artifact long and withheld of great power. His fire would be a great surprise to cause anything but more scorching heat and a rise of smoke from its destruction. It would stand firm no matter what flame would touch it. But, truly, it is an act of your named valiance to stand up against them, to gather his attention and, as I've heard and seen, withstanding the flames themselves. A great honor you do me, and I can only hope to repay you in kind for the damages you may have suffered. But alas, I am left with a question. You have many titles, all of you, held close, of great name. What brings you beyond the return of my daughter to this city?
Father, if I may.
If you should.
We had gotten word about the growing Fey magic within the Illyrian forest. And we have been dealing with several different instances of magic affecting the world of Hearth in almost unpredictable ways. When we heard Fey life was bleeding into Illyria more than usual, we came to investigate.
So you've seen firsthand the effects that the Feywild, this new harmonious union, is causing upon the forests that surround Innilan.
Is that harmonious is not quite how I would describe it.
Then how would you?
Finger to my head. Chaos.
Unruly. Unpredictable. Does the council consider it harmonious because they believe it is something they can manage? Do they have any plans to get it under control?
Very wise. Indeed. Just like an often unruly child, the magic of the Feywild often runs rampant. It requires control and discipline to maintain. As it stands now, it does not surprise me to hear that such magic may be causing disruption within the forest, just as if the heralds that the Queen has sent have caused their own disruptions. But assured by both myself and the remaining members of the Eternal Oath, that upon the arrival of the Summer Matron, the unruly magic you see and have felt and witnessed within this forest shall be controlled. A queen has control over her people, as is the forces around her.
Are there glasses or anything in front of us? Any like refreshments been carried out?
Oh yeah. As you are basically conversing with Kaelon, you can see a number of elven maidens wearing both tight and concealing clothing, like looks like long dresses with necks that go all the way up to the cusp of their jaw, down to their wrists and ankles, long flowing. Looks like they're meant to be servant hands. Some of them, again, familiar to you, Persephone, have been laying out an assortment of meals before you. Before you, you see these tall silver lined but glassed chalices of the like. Almost look like the actual silver strands have been embedded into the glass itself, which they've been filling with a concoction of both looks to be water and some sweet, light, almost you think probably a grape or a strange berry wine, as well as a cacophony of other meals before you. Soft breads that, also known as elven lemon bread. This sort of like, not spongy, but like sort of scone-like. Strange consistency between a soft bite of a scone and this like slight crackle of a cracker mixed with honey and all sorts of sweetness mixed within. Coarse, like almost like a full multi-grain bread, but truly meant to fill you with nutrition more than it is to be appealing to the eye, as well as some other normal expected elven delicacies. It looks like fruits and vegetables stewed or otherwise sweetened by some sort of additive berry or tart or jam. As well as, of course, it looks like some small rations that look to be dried fish and the like, aged for a long time and smothered in, it looks like, natural seasonings. Laid out in platters before you. Not quite you'd expect of a bountiful banquet like that in Nemobia. Quite lean and simplistic, as is the nature of the elves.
Both the fish and the scones, but I cannot help but reflexively raise a glass to that notion, though, of a queen reigning in control.
I understand conceptually. However, it is known that Magica Fae can seldom be controlled. Even a queen herself may be expected to control the wild nature. What if her idea of control of the elements around her is our idea of discord?
And that is where the harmonious union comes into play. Truly, this magic that may fall out of her hands expectedly, as the forces of magic, perhaps you have learned, if not from your new allies, can go awry. But not within the hands of the Summer Matron. She is not a fae as you likely would have ever encountered. Lasan is powerful. A noble Eladrin is a great and mighty being. Wielding the forces of his own chaotic and even natural magics, he can stand before you as a one-man army for those of normal mortals. But Titania is more than a normal fae. She's an entity that old scrolls and scholars have named an archfey. A being of such great power and renown within her realm that many consider her to be truly within her realm, like that of a goddess, worshipped and revered with powers that not only affect that of magic, but the very realm around her. If there is any force that can control the wild nature of this Fey-Wildian magic, it would be the might of a Fey queen, an archfey as herself. And truly, what binds her to this world, to this union, is a decision made quite some time ago. The eternal oath are those who approached us, this family, with this notion. A bargain, it seems, had been made between the leaders of Ronin, the leaders of this great nation, and this powerful entity. It seemed that gaining her attention and her favor in return for something quite simple was enough to earn her trust, to earn her own stake in this land. Though such matters are to be kept within the eternal oath. I rest assured, though, any concerns of destruction or chaos befalling our land would not be allowed, would not be tolerated. For the Queen herself holds such great power, chaos could be quelled within her hand. So long as she believes this land is her own, so long as she holds it as her own, A queen who rules alongside a mortal, alongside my son. Even chaos can be tamed at the hand of the Fey matron.
It must be quite a bargain if you continue to use your children as pawns in this political game.
Excuse me.
Burn.
Rael. As you see Rael sort of like sit up from his chair. Yes, father. Have I forced you into this position? No, father. It was your decision, was it not? Indeed, father. If I were to retract this deal, if I were to decide that perhaps now, if I had such power, to destroy this union and return to a former state, would you be happy? Would you choose that? No, father. This union is far too great to this nation, to our family, to all things. It would be a foolish decision to make that, and I would lose possibly the happiest decision of my life. Yeah, roll me an insight check.
Yeah, Percy's just eyeing her brother.
Woo!
As he's answering father.
Must I also make a check?
Not you, Persephone. But yeah, Luna, you can make a check. Good. All right. As you'd see Rael's reaction, Persephone, having spent so much time with her brother, knowing him quite well, especially with your also crazy high insight, it doesn't take much to not really see through the facade, but to see the mechanism that is at play. And Luna, as someone herself who has been maybe close with others and seen when they have to put on a false face, especially maybe your own past with an individual who wore a mask for such time, the person you see before you, who seems to be willingly agreeing in such a formal fashion to this union, is simply stating several facts. He is simply acknowledging the benefits of such a union and is accepting them. Although it seems as if whether or not his heart is in it is left unknown. His emotions have been very well kept in check, very well trained. He is sitting comfortably, or not comfortably, firmly and well situated in his chair. His eyes are making direct contact with the High Lord of Inland when he speaks. Whatever part of Rael would be true and honest is not seen. You just simply see the response he gives. Well, there you have it. Your brother is not a pawn. He has made this decision himself. It is the best choice for not only this city, but for this nation, especially considering the recent events that have transpired in broken Illyria. We are a nation that cannot stand war. We cannot survive it, and we are left vulnerable, with not only our nation, but our family, our city at the heart of this issue, as I'm sure you know. The power we need to keep ourselves strong, situated, and protected must come swift. It must come in great mass and outstanding form. What your brother is doing is saving this city and saving this nation, and he is happy to do it.
Rael is not a martyr. I hear his words, and I know you do too. I just can't help but feel that this union is not going to be exactly as expected. The Fae are tricky. It is a well-cataloged, documented fact that making deals with Fae is very tricky. In fact, the very words that they use, words that we communicate with on a daily basis, are often twisted against us.
Is this what you've learned in your travels? Is this what you've acquired in your gallivanting across the land, Velora? Have you become an expert in such matters that those of the Eternal Oath have spent lifetimes, decades, centuries studying and preparing for? You claim to know more than them simply because you've pranced through these lands. As you see beside him, Kalon, calm yourself. Our daughter has returned. Both of you, Your tongues are sharp, but this is a happy reunion. We've returned home our daughter. You have not seen her in some time, although you may have missed your eye. You've been so busy. Time flies, love. Be happy that she is here. Do not make this a fight.
Sorry, Mother.
Indeed. I apologize as well. But I will stand by what I say. This ceremony will continue so long as both myself, young Rael, and the Summer Queen demand it. It is for the best of this city, for even you, Valor, whether you realize it or not, perhaps in time you will. That this union will bring greatness, not only to our nation, but to all of its people. Safety, security, everything we will ever need.
That sounds so awfully too good to be true. And that is something I've learned with my gallivanting. A very perfect situation, a perfect solution to all of your problems. There is something terribly wrong.
Is there I feel like I would probably know it, a proper way to call the Lord's attention to speak?
Simply just, I guess, making direct eye contact or like a soft motion, something like
I got
grand or
plenty of
waving your
eyes.
hand. Everything,
You guys say, pick me!
everything about elves, and especially in elven nobility, is typically slow and sauntering. It's nothing's too quick or gesturing. Usually, that's a sign of danger or a fight. You know, elves use their quick reflexes to react to something fast. Usually when there's danger, but in a gentle situation like this, even the sort of soft back and forth between Kaelon and Valor was considered a raising of tone a bit too high for the sake of elven society. So something gentle and soft, like a motion of the hand.
Yeah, Purse isn't even like waving her arms around like she usually does. It's almost like her hands are like closely tethered to her body, and anytime she moves them, it's just like a quick, small little wave.
Sort of just ever so gently raise a hand or a finger, slowly but surely moving my snake's attention to focus in on the three sitting up at the top. I may, your lord.
You may, Samantha Deus. Proceed.
I have a simple inquiry. Your eternal oath has planned this for some time, it sounds like, unless I misunderstood. Decades, if not centuries, preparing for this alliance, it sounds like.
Indeed.
Taking careful steps to remove every ounce of malice and any sort of deception from my voice, just all focused on integrating myself with him.
It was a task long since performed by our own ancestors, the original Eternal Oath. Our kind draws ancestry from this realm, a tie to our own natural magics that connects us to this wild, life-granting world. It was attempted in times long past. A great consolidation of power for the sake of creating what is hoped to be a utopia among the elven kind. It ended due to the lack of wisdom and truly, I suppose, a free-spirited mortal, making a decision that damned a great deal of our forest, although in time it has grown over to be magical. It seems as if, across this time, even my own father in previous life, I tried his best to consolidate power with one of these archfey, for the sake of Illyria. They had learned from their mistakes, planned very carefully, and it seems as if fate, if not fortune, has smiled upon us in this moment, at our weakest and most vulnerable. And my son Rael, he has the honor of being truly a savior of our people.
If it wasn't to be Rael, is there anybody else? Theoretically speaking, of course.
Potentially. It seems as if with the summer matron desires, which she requires, is simple in nature. Very strange, it seems. The most powerful and outstanding of entities always seem to have the simplest desires. Rael has everything she wishes for. Not to take or to covet, but simply to take in her own in matrimony. As Rael just sort of like looks at you, Persephone, just kind of a blank expression, and just closes his eyes and goes back to his father as he speaks. I would not put my son in harm's way, and you know this, Velora.
But what is it that Rael has that somebody that is as a goddess would want?
That is part of a bargain I cannot speak truly of as eternal oath. It is a word that can only be shared between ourselves and the Fae Queen.
Rael, do you even know?
He looks up at his father, and then you just see a pair of stern blue eyes staring back at him. It is not my place to say, Velora. I apologize. I understand your concern, but I am bound as well.
Right, I would presume this union means that you also currently sit on the court.
Indeed. The youngest Oath Lord in all Valyrian history, save for those forced in a position during war. It's quite an honor to hold such a title. Alas, this wedding is soon to commence. By the last Sunday of April, the 28th, the work we have placed into the Harmonious Gate is assumed to come to completion. As of now, the only power that resides within the gate we are working on is enough to allow those of the noble Eladrin's passage to and from. The melancholy lord himself has been making great use of it, seldom staying in our city. But come the fruition, the gate will be powerful enough that even the likes of an archfey, a goddess among fey, may step through into this realm. And the wedding ceremony will be held. You are all invited to attend, if you wish. I understand that the responsibilities of a dragon slayer may pull you away from this place. You might find yourselves drawn to other lands with other duties, but know that this is going to be a moment of celebration for this land, and those who have brought great honor and indebted myself to you for your efforts in this city. There's a place for you within the celebration, including you, Lady Viola.
If I may, my lord.
You may.
What do you know of the veil?
It is a fabric of both magic and something often spoke of in old texts as that of plane space. It is the barrier between worlds that goes through fluctuations, thinning at times, other places seeming thinner than others, the Illyrian forest being one of them, having since thinned in a great catastrophe long ago, allowing the Fae spirits to linger and stay. Does that suffice?
Good enough, I guess, but you understand that it is thinning. And this queen is not the only one who is attempting to take advantage of this. If such a matrimonious agreement occurs, and she is able to bring her goddess-like body into this world, there's nothing to say that it won't shatter the veil. And there are other dangerous creatures attempting to come through as well.
Your concern is understandable. Alas, we are the Illyrians. We are those who have harnessed the power of magic since the oldest days, since the first word was spoken from the Silent Mother. We have such ability to bend the veil. Great and powerful magics that take lots of time and effort. That which is soon paying off to create a controlled gateway.
Then surely you and the council understand exactly how very dangerous this plan is to quite literally tear a hole in the veil, even for a short time.
More time would be needed to explain the exact mechanics behind such a great and powerful spell that would allow the bending of reality of Planescape and the Veil to allow such powerful entities through. I can simply give you my assurance that we would not be attempting something so catastrophic it would destroy our nation in an attempt to strengthen it. There is magic that exists to create an opening between one world and another. Magic so great that even some of its most powerful can step through. It is magic we are attempting and magic we are finalizing, taking great deal of care and time. In the great city of Inalin, host of all the materials any magician or arcanist would need to build such a thing exists. I understand your concerns, but they are unnecessary. Precautions have been made. The chaos we are dealing with has been handled. There is nothing to worry about.
Persephone, I hate your father. I just want you to know that, she says telepathically.
Persephone responds, "Can you tell why I ran away?"
He really is full of himself.
Great deal of pride over a great many years, it seems. The magic I'm less worried about.
I understand precautions are being taken. But the veil, as it has been known for the last several millennia, is not the same. Are your precautions taking that into account?
Of course.
The veil... I don't believe you.
Sorry to say. If you were longer lived, if you had followed by my steps, perhaps I could have shown you our progress. Perhaps if you had lingered longer, I would have shown you the steps we've taken to create this gate. The magic, talk you through the magical arcanists speak.
The only reason I left is you were going to send me away anyways. Would it have really mattered?
As silence sort of falls over the elegant hall, sort of soft scoff and cough of an elf guard in the distance.
Taking the opportunity to break it before him, it seems. Calling the attention back to me. The magic is certainly one aspect of things, something that has never gone wrong for elves in the past, I'm sure. But you have no worry that what it is she wants is only the beginning. You're not capitulating your kingdom to something else entirely? Or are you doing so willingly? Will she now be the queen of Illyria?
Indeed. Ruling alongside our family, unifying both those of great power and that of our blood. Whatever strings she may have, whatever own desires, may be hers. But it is the will of the eternal oath to bind this family, and they have assured us. Any precautions or changes, or one might even say Feywieldian rules of hers, may push her to perform. They have taken every precaution to cover a long since standing plan. I have full faith in this council that rules over this nation. And that is all.
I have full faith in her ruling this nation for all time to come hereafter.
She is a queen of a long-standing, chaotic world, who it seems, after all this time, has maintained her own sense of order. I can only imagine what sort of both military and truly charismatic and leadership she can bring to these people in our trying times.
Forgive my human ignorance. What exactly makes your bloodline special?
Just as any other love of this land, wed between that of mortal flesh and our Fey ancestry. All of us have been touched by the Fey here, but our line is strongest in its connection. And truly, that connection will be brought to light. For the union between a great Fey and one of our kind brings out that magic even stronger. As young Rael will soon find, the Fey magic within him may bloom. In fact, it shall, upon the commencement of the ceremony. He himself will become truly more Fey, and as a result, well, a true elf. My son shall live a long and prosperous life, not one bound by the simplicities and limitations of others. He shall live long like our kind will, experience a grand deal, and perhaps learn more than others, from the first hand from the side of a Fey Queen. As Rael sort of shifts in his seat again, it is an honor to live a long life, a privilege that I'm certain those in more misfortunate positions would be sore without.
Seems like your only inroad, Persephone, will be your brother.
My lord,
I knew that going in.
apologies, I am but a simple soldier, like the men that stand beside you.
Is that
You
so?
say that she is a queen that rules her chaotic realm, and that she wields great power, and that she will bring this to your realm and kingdom, and yet she cannot even control her son. And it was his hubris that nearly boiled your men alive. For what? Fun? A challenge, he said. I surely hope that this oath that you and the extremely wise council have checked and rechecked yet again.
Indeed. Unruly children require a strong parental hand to guide them. When left to their own devices, they often get their heads filled with chaotic little ideas and make terrible, terrible mistakes. When she shall return, I'm certain his antics will come to a swift end. But I understand your concern, Shield of Zamaria.
First doesn't move, her eyes just kind of go wide.
Smirk comes across his face. I didn't tell him, Persephone.
You told the guards. That was enough.
I didn't tell him.
At least we're not being thrown out.
Is there supposed to be food or something, or are we just
Oh,
there's been food laid out in front of you.
Literally
Eat
right in
them.
front of you. He laid it all out.
Eat that cracker thing.
Never mind, I'm
Wait.
going to get to eating.
Just looks like some elven bread. It looks like it should be a banquet, Tamarcon, but elven food is so light and thin. It's like vegetables, fruit, some sweet breads that crisp and crackle in your mouth, and so it looks like a combination of both water in one jar and wine in the other. Not quite the fun, warm meal you got in Mobia when you'd spend exorbitant amounts of money. As this seems more like refined. I guess closest thing you expect is like gourmet food, but magically touched. If there are no other concerns here, I would like to leave you to your meal and converse on a more personal level. It has been quite some time since I've seen my daughter, and I've been told that she has traveled many lands and done many great things. Your stories, your own travels, I would like to hear of them. As he starts to speak, you can hear the soft clacking of footsteps from down the hallway. Unfortunately, my lord, I will actually require your attention now. Apologies for interrupting, as from the back hallway you see a long flowing robe, and it looks like dark skin, like that of almost like a blue-gray hue. Creature making his way down the pathway until you realize it's another elf, but not quite like the ones you've seen here in Inalin, whose skin is often soft and touched by sunlight, or maybe even marred by like that of the color of the woods. Instead, his skin is dark and blue with violet-colored hair. Those who know of their elves and probably traveled deeper into the heart of Illyria would know them as the Moon Elves. Those another subset of the High Elf who are more magically gifted and touched than their other kin. As he approaches, all the knights immediately go from the sort of laxed and quiet state to standing at attention as he rounds the corner.
Do I know him?
I immediately invite him to the Valiant Vanguard. He has
as
the guild hall.
you would, Persephone. You've met this man a few times in your life. He's spoken to you in person. A calm, collected, and in a strange way, kind of kind and charming member of the Eternal Oath. One of the few members who often visited the city of Inalin, and often is a strange reflection of your own father, whereas he is controlling and quiet and reserved and proud. This man tries to keep himself in a friendly and inviting manner. At times referred to as Oathlord Galleon, but to you, maybe in a more affectionate terms from your mother or even Rael when he has misspoken, Uncle Galleon. As this man rounds the corner, he turns to see Kaelon, who sort of gives him a sharpened look. Rael smiles at him, and even he turns to you, and you see a big beaming grin cut across his face. My, have you grown, Lady Velora? Into a wonderful young woman, as he'll step forward and sort of take your hand and bend down and give it a soft little kiss.
Stephanie gives him a small smile. It's good to see you again, Uncle Galleon.
Oh, I love that title so greatly, Uncle Galleon. Unfortunately, though, I must steal your father away. There is more preparation to be done, and it seems as if our current mages have been struggling with their work on the gate. Hi, Lord Kelvon, if you would join me. As you'll see him stand up. It appears I cannot join you for such personable affairs. But, Lady Santos and Rael, you are free to do as you wish. Your responsibilities for the day, Rael, may be withheld till the evening. I will allow you to spend your day catching up with your beloved sister, and suppose meeting her companions. Captain Theron, you know your duty. Stay by his side. In case more of these lovely guests of ours wish to cause more mayhem, keep them in check. As you say, my lord. My lord. As Kaelon will sort of step aside, make his way past you, linger a little bit longer than normal, looking between you, Persephone, and the other Oath Lord. For both of them seemingly make their way back up along the hallway. Oh, and a pleasure to see you in person, Dragon Slayers. I'd wish to converse with you more, but pressing matters. Time is quite precious now in this final month. Perhaps I'll see you another time. As with that, they'll make their way out down the hallway and out of the building, as it seems like all the guards immediately sort of go at ease once the lords have left, and Lady Santis rises from her seat and comes down to give you a big, firm hug once more, Persephone. It's good to see you, daughter.
I'm so glad to be home. I can't believe he's doing this. It's worse than I thought. Actually, this is about what I expected from him, yeah.
He is steadfast and assured by the eternal oath that all will go as planned.
So it was the oath's idea.
It was my first hearing of it in recent time. His connections with them is long and runs deep. But it seems as if this is something they'd been working on for quite some time. I don't know if it fell into our hands, onto our family, or if we were simply chosen given the circumstances. But as you can see, as Rael steps behind, it's fine, Velora. It's fine.
It's not fine. What does she want from you?
I can tell you later. I can try to tell you later, but for now, just rest assured, Velora. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll be fine. Just please just be here. Be home. You're home. I haven't seen you in forever. Can we just catch up, have fun? Can we just be home for a little bit before worrying about the city or the world or father?
Persephone quietly opens her bag and then pulls out not a small, just a good-sized parcel. I got you presents from all my travels.
Oh, Laura. Okay. Let's catch up. As some time will pass with the members of the Valiant Vanguard and Persephone, as well as their brother Rail, sort of going around the party. Unless there's anything you want to say in particular, just sort of catching up, just sort of getting to know you, Lady Sontis, eagerly wishing to learn more about each and every one of you. Unless there's again anything you want to say, we can.
I want to talk to Therian quick.
Sure. Young man standing by, Rail's side, sort of again much more ease now that the Lord has left. Sees you approach. So Shield of Zamaria, huh?
Yes.
That's a dangerous title to be wielding around here. Hope you know that.
Well, better than being the Sword of Zamaria.
I suppose so. Is it?
A shield is for defense. It is to protect. A sword is for offense, which is used to kill.
Right. You certainly really like to use that sword from what I saw. But good to hear.
When something threatens those that you care about, you tend to
You
go
raise your
and
shield to
defend
protect them.
and a sword to stop that threat.
Right.
More of a sword and shield of Zamaria.
That would seem to be more fitting.
I
Tell
thought
me.
he was saying there was a sword of Zamaria and he's like really good at killing people. I misunderstood.
So go into hushed tones.
Shut up!
No privacy.
Do you really
Go on.
think that this queen can control her son?
I mean, I imagine so. She's a goddess like they say she is. She can kind of do anything. I imagine if there's anyone that very interesting individual who certainly seems to uphold power above all else would have respect for, it would be a mother of such power.
Tell me, Therian, have you ever had any children?
Can't say I have.
Have you
Absolutely not. No.
Have you had to protect many nobles' children?
Yes. It's actually kind of my job. Protecting
And they rebel.
apparently the most important noble child in Lyria right now.
And they rebel, don't they? At least
Not-
at some point.
Not really. Rail's pretty dedicated to this task. He's pretty sold on it. That's just kind of the guy he is.
And the other.
Yeah, Velora, or no, Persephone. She's always been sort of the wild one. You talk about control. Rail's the one who had to keep her out of trouble growing up. But I understand why she's concerned. This is kind of scary stuff. But it seems like they have everything under control.
This because Persephone is a very good person deep at heart. She cares about others.
Oh,
She
I know
wants to
that.
see them happy. That Fey Prince wants to see them burned.
I mean, he certainly seems to like breaking things. He's honestly been relatively well behaved with the people. It's mostly people caught in the crossfire. It's a little reckless. I guess he lives up to the name, Wildfire Prince. kind of a wildfire. But he hasn't gone after any innocents. He's not killing anyone. We haven't had to try and spear him down. He's been relatively controlled for being such a chaotic creature.
I hope that none of your men or women under your charge are harmed by the Wildfire Prince. But that's the thing about fire. It always consumes. So just walk away.
Huh.
I am going to ask Rael. So, Father mentioned we met Lacerin outside trying to,
Yes.
destroy the tree. Apparently, he's done that a bunch of times. But who's this? Lacerin mentioned, I think, his sister. But who's this melancholy prince that Father mentioned?
Honestly, out of the lot of them, he's probably the most tolerable. I think he's the middleest child. He's been kind of the messenger between this city and the Fae Queen. They've been using that gate of theirs, wherever it is, to kind of consolidate and confirm situations on either side. He's honestly not a bad guy. I haven't got much to talk to him, but he doesn't stay in one place too long. I guess it sounds like wherever he stays, things sort of become a bit dreary, and he's afraid it will cause the excitement of the ceremony to dwindle in the city. So he doesn't stay in one place too long. Despite that, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of ladies seem to really like him, but he doesn't seem to take hold of that.
Huh. I met somebody that was kind of like that out on my travels.
Huh. Was he a prince?
No, he was just kind of. Did you read my letter about Stroma?
I did. It was horrifying.
Yeah, it's kind of what we do. Horrifying, but fun.
I could see why you're very worried about the situation after some of the things you've seen.
Well, yes, quite literally, a dragon was doing the almost same exact thing, trying to open a doorway to another plane, and that was going to be very, 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 very bad.
Oh, Persephone, did you tell him about my father who shrouded an entire village in darkness?
Her father shrouded an entire village full of darkness, and he was looking for a way to see if he could walk among people outside during daylight, right?
So yes.
And that would have also been very, 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 very bad.
By bridging the Shadowfell to the material. A lot of planner problems lately.
It sounds horrifying. Also, you guys do this a lot. Oh my god.
You don't become a dragon slayer by just waltzing out into the wilds and deciding to fight a dragon. There's a lot more at stake.
Indeed,
It certainly seems like it.
We tend to go to places just before all hell breaks loose. And before the world is ended, we manage to stop it. Just seems to happen wherever we are.
Sounds like you guys are quite blessed by the gods.
What cursed?
Round.
I'd prefer to think of it in a more optimistic light. It seems as if you're exactly where you need to be at the right time.
Are we ready?
Is that Mom?
That's your
Or is
mom.
that real?
She's happy.
Oh, are we, Lady Saunders?
Perhaps. I'd like to think so. Samantha, right?
Samantha Days, yes. As I'm just
I have heard so much about you.
Ogling her.
As she looks you over, again, a person of great renown and apparently nobility in the city, just seems to be smiling and beaming with a very familiar expression, although on a slightly older and more, I guess in a sense, refined and controlled state, as she just excitedly looks over you and then Luna and then Tamarcon. I've read a lot of stories about a lot of you. That one actually, not so much. I've only recently... Are you Mr. Tamar?
That is me, Tamarka.
He's new.
He's new. I still have more to learn about you then. What do you do for fun? What adventures have you gone on with my daughter? Have you kept her out of danger? Maybe she's kept you out of danger. She's quite adept at that, it seems.
Persephone's grin just like widens.
Oh no, I try to get her into as much trouble as I can possibly find.
Oh, you're funny. I like you.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm sad that we did not get a chance to meet last time I was in town.
Wait,
Just
you've been
in
here?
town. Wait a minute.
Wait.
Been a few years.
Wait a minute. Killon told me a story once that there was a traveler who tried to steal a piece of the Zendalarada. Thought it was a rat or something. Something with hands and feet. Was that you?
That was totally you, Tamarcon, wasn't it?
I have to say, I'm a bit insulted. I didn't think my tail looked so rat-like.
You tried to steal a piece of the crystal tree?
Well, I tried. The walls and face back then. They were impressive. What?
And it's not quite the same recently. It's a great source of magic, the Zendalorada, but magic is required for the certain, well, commencement of the ceremony.
So I
Wait.
noticed.
What? Is the
Well-
Zendalorada okay?
Oh, it's fine. It's just it's currently being used as a, well, your father and the Eternal Oath are using it as a power source for the time being, as we do for many things in the city. The Zendalorada is the source of most of the magic. Why are you giving me that look? You know this. Most of the magic that flows through the city is due to the Great Diamond Tree.
They're using the tree to pierce a hole in the veil to let an archfey in.
I mean, truly, I can't think of anything else that would accomplish such a task.
I mean, I must say, powering a whole city is one thing, but ripping a fabric of reality can drain whatever magic is in that tree.
It is putting a current strain on it, but it seems they have a plan to keep it moving. It's not going to destroy. Even in its current state, it seems even the flames of that Wildfire Prince is enough to put a scratch on it. I rest assured it'd be fine.
I rest assured it is not going to be fine.
I'm not very optimistic.
Everyone
though, are
is
you?
so calm about this. I don't understand. They're saying that it's going to be fine and that they've planned for everything. Do you know what happens when we plan things? Do you know what happens when we plan for everything? It goes
do.
horribly wrong.
But we get the job
Well,
done.
excuse me.
Horribly wrong, just not the way we expected it to. But there's only so many things you can plan for, and we usually don't spend 1,000 years doing it.
And I have to agree with Samantha Deus here. You know your father. He is a very cautious man. And if there are any precautions to be taken, any worries to be held or approached, I am certain he has done so. He has spent many nights, for the last year especially, planning this. He's been quite absent in our lives, save for the evenings, as I may have told you. But it's all been for what I can only assume to be the best. If we start to worry now, Velora, Persephone, I'm sorry. What do you want me to call you, daughter?
Persephone.
Persephone it is. If we start to worry and doubt now, Persephone, it would put all the work he and those who truly want this to happen to shame. It would take all the work he's put in, all of the effort, all the dedication he has acquired for not only the city's sake, but for our family, for you, for Rael. It will all go to waste. And as his wife, I can't put that doubt on him. I want him to succeed.
I mean,
Despite
what's more important, his ego or the very fabric of reality?
it's not so much his ego as simply I wish to preserve his heart, his kindness, his hope. I don't want him to be a broken man, but truly I'm not truly magically inclined myself, not much. The fabric of reality, I can only attest to your stories, which seem horrible and terrifying, but it is true what they say. Perhaps if you can find maybe your Uncle Galleon once this is all done, if you can convince him, he might show you the gate. That might quell your concerns, to see it for yourself.
Yeah, that might help. I mean, after all, we don't really know much about what's going on. It's just I've been away from home, and I heard a rumor that Raoul may be married, and it's been just one after the other. So
It could be worse. It could be the King of Shades or something. Or maybe the Wildwood Heart. There are worse things, although don't really know the Titania. Summer Court does not seem too bad.
See, I like him. Optimistic.
Summer means a lot of sun, so it's terrible. Is the contents of this oath secret?
It's more so it sounds the bargain between them, making a deal with such a powerful entity. To reveal the details, I from what I've understood, would be to risk imposing outside interference. Those who might try to dissuade one side. I suppose if someone's willing to trade something wonderful and you find out about it, one might try to undercut, and to keep such thing a secret would, well, protect the deal.
Nothing is
He hasn't
worse than
even-
having an advantageous deal and having someone sweep it out from underneath you.
He hasn't even told you?
He cannot. I truly am curious, but all I have are his assurances that what they require of Rael, what she sees or wants with Rael, is of noble heart.
But you know what it is, right, Rael?
I cannot say. It would put lots of things in jeopardy.
Understandable.
Right, understandable. But you do sit on the oath now. So you've been privy to their meetings for how long?
Just within the last few months, I've been aligned to join them, and so I have been trained more so than the paperwork I've been training for quite some time. Now actually sitting with them and listening. Well, it's fascinating and riveting. These conversations seem to go on longer than I can even stay awake for. They're so boring. But maybe that might change when I'm a full elf. I won't need to sleep as much.
You really think that's gonna happen? That sounds crazy.
It's magic. We have Fae magic in us. If she can bring that out.
First lifts like her
Be-
plant arm. I'm very well
Oh
aware.
my god! What happened to your arm? I thought you had magic in it. It's a plant now? Does it hurt?
She is due to
No.
die in 3 days. That is why we have returned.
Now that
She
was
thought
not
she
a
was saying
funny
goodbye.
joke. Okay, it's kind of funny. No, she's fine. She's fine. She's fine. She's already told me about it.
This was a gift in exchange for helping a small tribe of docile goblins. Their deity, I believe, also an archfey of sorts, gifted me with some of his magic and gave me the title of guardian myself. For creatures who cannot defend themselves and to bring balance where there is chaos.
Wow. You've gone out and done a lot of amazing things, Vale. I'm proud of you.
Call me
I really am.
Persephone. I know it's weird, but Valora, who I was then, she doesn't carry all my titles. I'm
It just
Persephone now.
Oh, I understand. It's just the name you chose as a child.
I
though.
put my hands on his cheeks and just like squish his face together.
I'm Persephone now.
Okay, Persephone. You've convinced me.
I am
You
calling her
convinced me.
Vale at every opportunity I can find.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well,
Can't wait to hear the squeaking.
if you'd like to finish your meals, we still have much daylight. Have you seen the city? I would love to give you a tour. Show the sights. I'm sure Persephone would love to show you where she's grown up and all maybe the wonders of the Hardstone district.
I heard there's a library here. Is it accessible?
Oh, yes, of course. The amenities are all yours, as the Lord has said. Would you like to visit that first? It's another building aside, but Rael can show you if you wish.
Could we see the gate?
Oh yeah, books. That is what I want.
Truly, it's kept hidden from sight, but as she'll look over at Rael, I will leave that to the member of the Eternal Oath to show you. As Rael's like, he's gonna be really mad if I do.
Can
Is
your
it-
member
uncle
of
take
the-
us?
Of the oath.
Uncle
You are
Galleon
in
would be more
charge.
willing to be convinced. He's more affable and friendly than Kilon. But Rael could, although... Would you, Rael?
I mean, I wouldn't want you to get in trouble. If we
No.
can
It's
talk
not like Rael is going to be the savior of all Illyria by wedding this archfey and having to make the decisions for the entire realm at one point in the very near future.
He does that a lot. He's
Still,
very father-like, I know.
if Galleon
Kind
is
of.
more, if Galleon is more willing to help, we can always just go through him. You don't really have to worry about it.
I'm not worried about it.
I was
I
talking to
mean,
Ray.
I appreciate that. Luna Dieter von Edensburg?
Luna is fine. I don't
Oh, thank-
do the whole title thing.
Gotcha. Sorry, it's you'll find here a lot of people will say your full name if you say your full name with them. It's a such thing.
They also say the titles.
yes.
If they can remember them.
But Rael, what are your titles?
I am Lord Rael, often known as Lord Rael Thespia, of the city of Indolin, soon to be, I suppose now, 7th seat of the Eternal Oath. What are they now? I guess Arch-King of the Feyglade? I'm still learning that title. That one's going to be a hard one to sit on my shoulders.
Is the council going to be dissolved? That's what it sounds like.
Sounds like it.
Queen Titania's going to come here, and now we're going to be a monarchy?
I believe Queen Titania is going to be joining the power dynamic. The Eternal Oath will remain as the mortality, but she will become part of it as well. She's joining the circle as opposed to dissolving or destroying it. I don't think the Eternal Oath would want themselves to give themselves a new ruler. That'd be giving away the land,
what
wouldn't
they're
it?
doing.
That's pretty.
That's what I was asking your father. With such a powerful and literally immortal being a member of the council, she's queen de facto. It seems, an inevitability that a monarchy come into place in Illyria.
It is certainly something I've never heard before, of an Archfey ruling with others that were not also Archfey.
So
They
just raise
certainly
my
would know.
glass and say,
As I
"Long live
gesture
the
towards
king."
towards Tamarkon.
I just see this sort of worried look spreading across Rael's face.
He's
Certainly
quite
seems like
literally
it'd be
from
fine.
the Feywild. He would know.
Oh.
Aren't you technically a Fey king in some sort, Tamarkon?
Well,
At least a third of one.
A third of one,
Himself.
yes.
oh. So are you the ruler of this party then?
Oh, absolutely. They are actually all my slaves. I have bought them at the market and brought them here with me.
Yes,
that's
he makes
good.
us
That's
When
good
your
there.
snakes are just like
brush
right
his
next to your
hair
face.
every night.
Yes, I didn't know how to quite tell you guys. I ran away from home and ended up a slave.
Points to Tamarkon.
Oh yeah.
I'm a very rich man.
You've made a lot of interesting friends, Persephone. There are a lot of great friends, it seems. I haven't seen you smiling and laughing this much. It's good.
You could
Never-
mention to your uncle that we would love to speak with him. Of course, with you or whoever else. There are inquiries, I suppose, I have, being magically inclined myself, and I wouldn't want you to deal with any repercussions of us seeing the gate.
No.
So I can certainly convene with
When he
With
has
oath.
time.
Oath Lord Galleon that he can.
Oath Lord.
How-
Excellent.
Tell Uncle Galleon that we've handled interplanar issues before. They're powering a gate, and it sounds like maybe something is wrong. That's why he called upon Father, right? If they're having a little bit of difficulties maintaining the magic of the gate, maybe we can go investigate and look at it and help them out. Just tell him all of that.
I can certainly try. He'd be more willing to accept it. I'll certainly do my best, though. He's probably at the gate as we speak. I can speak to him there, but in the meantime, I can show you where the library is, Luna, if you wish, and the rest of you, we can go. Once I'm back, wander the city. You can maybe follow Mother around, take to do some sightseeing. If you have coin, maybe buy some elven wares. Enjoy yourselves, really. Enjoy yourselves.
I have 2 requests, if I may.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a sure, yeah, absolutely.
Are you holding 2 fingers?
One, I have a passing fancy of late. Is there an architect here? Someone known for their work?
Yes, there are. Well, not really stonesmiths, as some of you would know in Movia. They're truly. They use magic to shape the buildings and the land, or truly the buildings and the formations around the landscape. They're available. You'll find most of them in the Hardstone district. There's one in particular by the name of Tremon. Tremon
Tremon?
the Yes.
My fancy has to do with a bit of history. Is this man long lived, or does he have a lineage to himself?
Very much so. He comes from a family of what would you even call them? I guess architects. He is
Wonderful.
the third son of a grand architect who helped establish the formation of many of these buildings in the wall here of Inalin.
Perfect. Do they ever do any work outside of Inalin?
Typically, no. They are quite dedicated to the city. And I suppose no one's ever asked them, though.
Interesting. 2! The bathhouse on the west wing on the second story, is he still there? Don't ask me how I know that.
As he looks over to Mother, and you see Sonata sort of just looks back and forth and just kind of smiles and shrugs. Sure, why not? I assume so. You'll find most of the architecture here does not change in form or structure, unless, I suppose, if proved to be, faulty. You probably find whatever window you're looking for. What are you up to?
I just wanted to take a bath.
It's best not to always ask him.
Huh. Well, all right then.
Thank you for the hospitality.
He seems fun. He seems a lot of fun. I like him.
I tried to be.
It took me a moment, but he did grow on me, I have to admit.
I'll get in there.
Pat on the shoulder.
As if nothing else will pass by, you'll see Rael will... Oh?
I'm just gonna walk around and walk up to Swift Hollow because she's been quiet this whole time. Just... You gonna take a tour of the city with us?
I suppose, if you'd have me.
I'd love to have you.
Certainly.
Okay.
Lady Saunders, will you be joining us?
Of course I would. I still have I wish to experience you all firsthand. I've heard stories from most of you, but I've only heard of you through Persephone's words, not through interaction. I'd love to actually meet the people who have seemingly changed her life.
The same to you, Lady Saunders.
Only good things, I pray.
She's also new.
Persephone points to Swift Hollow.
I was wondering if you had a voice there.
Oh,
Nice to meet you, Swift Hollow. Is your name actually Swift Hollow?
It is.
Oh, wonderful. It's a beautiful name.
Persephone, I think Samantha is sweet on your mother.
Samantha?
I mean, she better not be.
Some trouble in Veritas? I joke.
Okay.
Tour.
As time would pass, Rael would actually go off and lead Luna along one of the other paths. If you guys want to follow him, it's fine. Towards the eastern side of the manor, leading to a large, encompassing building, not quite as grand and magically vast as that of the grand archives, of the untold archives, rather, of Cradle Keep, but you would find a deep and quite thoroughly filled library within one of these great wings of the Emerald Chateau. A place where you could see many desks scattered about. Rael seems to gravitate towards one in particular that seems to be covered in old parchments and looks like has just recently been cleaned of whatever ink or charcoal dust had been left behind. It's quite a thorough library here, full of information you may not have found. I've heard you guys have gone as far as some of the great libraries of Mobia, but I think you'll find a more comprehensive history of all things Illyrian here. A bit deeper, if you're willing to dive in, but it's Elven. It's all in Elven. Can you read?
Elven, yes.
Oh, wonderful. then it's just a matter of time. Then, if you're willing to do so, would you join us on the tour? Or you prefer to scour the texts? The maps are on this whole section here. If you want to know.
Sure, I'll come back later.
Oh, fantastic. All right. As with that, Rail will rejoin you guys, or at least gather back to the front of the chateau where he'll sort of make his departure. You'll see Theron join him by his side as he gives you guys a quick wave. Well, nice meeting you all. I'll probably see you guys later. I gotta go do, soldier duties.
It's goodbye, whatever your name was.
Oh, Theron. Theron, it's Theron. I'm Theron.
Captain Theron now.
Captain Theron. Thank you, Persephone.
Ooh.
It's sticking, I gotta say. As time would pass, you'd see him make his way off. Seemingly, let's go back to the map. Ba-ba-ba. You'd see Rail from the center of this chateau. If you guys are, you'd see, looks to be he and Rail make their way towards the more northern part of the city, where it seems as if they're heading towards the actual, what was it? The northern district against the mountains itself. Though there's not many buildings where they're going, just more glades, and it looks like large plumes of trees and the like, as Lady Santis would instead take you guys across the city of Inniland, as you guys would have a large majority of the day to sort of just do what you want in the city. If you want to show you guys around places, anything particular Persephone has in her history she wants to show off, otherwise just some shopping or sightseeing. What do you guys do with your time in the Elven City?
Real quick, before we get too far into that,
Sure.
I will pull Persephone back just a little bit, since I don't know how long that dinner was. It's like more than an hour.
About an hour or so, yeah. Just enough to eat and get yelled at.
So, assuming that my telepathic bond is gone, I will just kind of whisper to Persephone, you probably don't want to do it this way, but I am just offering it to you. If you cannot get the information from your brother, I can force it out, but I won't do it unless you want me to. Just if you need it.
I really hope it doesn't come to that. But I'm not opposed to it if it means saving him from this.
Agreed. I'd rather not start a, race war here.
Race war.
As I assume it already happened between... Never mind.
It has... The relationship between elves and half-elves has been pretty tense since the war. It was actually kind of used as reason to go to war. My aunt was the High Lady of this place, and we don't know a lot of the details. It just seemed that she had she really wanted to challenge the Eastern Shore, wanting to change the way we do things. And the Oath's purpose is to listen to varying opinions, even ones that go against the way that we, govern. She shut them out, and she convinced the other members of the council that was a good idea. And eventually, they refused to be ignored.
Sounds
It
like a
hasn't really
fun
been the
time.
same. Yeah. But this isn't going to be sad family history time. This is going to be showing my friends around my home city, because the Crystal City is one of the prettiest cities in all of Valyria, if I do say so myself. And you have so much to see.
Yes.
Maybe I should just go back to the library.
Don't leave me alone with her. And her
Oh,
mother.
come! You have to see the sights. As you'll see, like Lady Santis actually takes your arm, Luna, sort of guides you along in a strangely familiar, maybe frustrating way.
Persephone takes Luna's other arm.
Come on
Marrying
now!
her mother.
Just walk behind the three of them, giggling to herself.
As yeah, we'll have your time to sort of explore the city, looking for anything in particular, anything you want to do before it seems like we move on to the next step. Anything you want to do while you're in Inland?
I want to go shopping.
Sure.
Where's the map?
Yes.
There was the Mac. What?
The Magic Emporium.
The Magic Emporium. Fun thing about elven societies, there's not too many actual magic item shops because magic item usage and creation, especially in the city of Inland, is so integrated that magic items sort of just permeate through the shops themselves. You find yourself at a smith, there's more than likely to be some sort of items or weapons touched by magic itself. You go to an architect, for example, you might find some tools or the use that magically allow you to, bend the land to your will a bit easier. You go to a tailor, you'll find some magically touched clothing. Everything, especially in this city of Inland, where they seem to gather most of Illyrian's natural magic-touched resources, they're able to produce objects of magical power with such frequency and efficiency that it's kind of hard to actually miss finding one here. So it's less of a matter of look for the magic item shop and more, what kind of magic items are you looking for? You can probably find them here.
Swift Hollow's looking for that illustrious, I think it's called star metal.
Yeah. You definitely find one at one of their smiths. It's probably in the Hardstone district back towards the outer and most further wall of the city of Inland. Closer you'd find what seems to be a small, narrow but tall tower of sorts that seems to be lined, but it looks to be like silver, you might say claw marks, but they're really these sort of very beautiful looking indentations and lining of what looks to be mithril and silver itself. An establishment known as the Silver Band Works. It's owned by a trio of elves who put their efforts and magic into taking objects made out of animal parts like bones and the like, otherwise stone, metal, and even wood, and incorporate the use of magic to strengthen them in order to become stronger. And yeah, if you're looking for star metal, they would have some on stock. They only have about, at their hands, being somewhat rare, about 10 pounds of it. They'd be willing to part with it for about, I had you here. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to, they'd be parting with a pound of it for about 2,500 gold per pound.
Alright, how much money do I have?
How much do you need?
Check's character sheet. Oh, fuck, I forgot. I have so much.
Well, we brought, the princess back from her, dangerous adventures. We get everything free.
It seems like a risky proposal. Unless you, as I look at Persephone, and I look at her mother, and I look back at Persephone, and then I say planning, and leave an ominous sort of pause at the end of it.
Are you trying to swindle? Are you trying to swindle my city?
No. I'm trying
A little
to
bit.
remind myself of what it is you're planning on doing. Considering everyone's perception of your return.
Mother, how did that news really spread around?
Oh, I mean, saw you arrive. I mean, people recognized her.
No, I mean, when I left.
Oh, well, as she'll sort of look up at the smiths rather, who are sort of gathering around the group, but seeming to mostly converse with Swift Hollow, seems to be counting her coins. It was a matter that was very carefully handled by your father. He seemed to be more insistent that you were away as opposed to running away. Didn't want to invite, potential threats on the trail of a runaway noble lady cause you harm. So it seemed more like you were guarded, away, protected. So to you, it's simply you've returned from a long trip.
That
2,500 or 25,000? Sorry, Persephone.
2,500 per pound.
Oh, okay, wait, never mind. Hang on, I got to recalculate a lot then. Oh, I missed the zero.
250, Jesus.
I was like,
Oh,
well, that's
God.
really a lot, but I'm pretty sure I could probably buy like a pound. Oh, okay, never mind. I'll
Pretty
take
illustrious
an
metal
entire
that
star.
fell from the sky. Nowhere where to mine it.
So tell do you look like you're
I could
stuck
take.
coin?
I could take. No. Oh dear God, no. You have no idea. As Swithhollow starts pouring out platinum pieces, There's so many platinum pieces.
Just out of your orifices.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Turn your head sideways and just spill out of your ear.
In her infinite wisdom, knowing Gizmo, how much would he really need to work with?
For his project, he'd probably mentioned how nice it would have been to have star metal. He probably only needs about £1 for this contraption he's devising.
That's what I figured. All right,
he doesn't need a lot.
Sweeten the deal. It'll be, well, it's not even sweetening the deal. It's more like, here you go, here's your payment, buddy. She'll buy £3.
Sweet. All right. So a total of 7,500 gold pieces.
You know, here's your 750 plat.
All right, you've got these small, very neatly carved, almost like perfectly aligned blocks of this dark and glittering metal that as you put them together, you can see as they lay them out, they put one at a time next to each other and then touch all three of them at once, and you can see the blocks zoom, all stick together as if magnetically and slides them over in a single mound. As you have,
I only have $35,000 left.
Dear God, what will you ever do?
No.
So rich.
Hey, Omen. I'm looking for some boots.
I have so much cash, you have no idea.
Looking for some boots?
Yeah, some boots maybe that Elvin made. Like, maybe like of an Elvin kind.
Oh, you definitely find those. There's actually a tailor and a leather worker closer to the actual gate leading up to the main thoroughfare that leads to the Diamondstone district. It's a very ornate looking place where it seems both nobility, or at least those of lower nobility, and the common folk can go to gather some nice looking elven wares. A facility known as Sinew Sewn Anew. They use both plant life as well as animal hides and the use of actual like mithril and silver threads to bring about a combination of beautiful, simple, and illustrious clothing as well as outfits, and even it seems in some cases the use of leather armor for some of the more far-traveled scouts of the city. As, they would actually definitely have, if you're looking for some boots, they have some soft leather boots available for you, those that allow you to move silently, made from the hawkbalm trees of inland's forests. They're not particularly, they're made in great number for some of their scouts to, traverse the lands unharmed. They only charge you about probably 2,500 GP.
I will buy them.
All right. Buy yourselves a nice soft pair of what looks to be these really soft leaf-made boots. And if you slide them over your own boots or your feet through your hardened metal steps, they make no sound.
Stick your big old greaves in there.
Yep. Shack shoes, baby.
Like putting your boots and slippers.
What an image. Is there a gemsmith that you're quite proud of here? It seems like you will have quite the affinity for crystals.
Mm-hmm. There is certainly a place, actually within, sort of back into the Diamondstone district. It's sort of where the main collection of their gems come from, as the city of Inalin but extracts the essence of most of the gems from the mountains and sort of collects them in the center of the city. Their shop itself is called the Zendalorius Star. It is owned by a single, apparently shaved head and very pale-skinned moon elf who seldom speaks, but she offers you her wares. She has a whole collection of gems within her reach, as well as those that often invade both the shelves and the wares of those who collect gems across this land. Those who extract the pure magical essence known as the Zendalure from the stone, also known in human tongue as diamonds. Think of anything in particular?
Something that I know would be magically potent, that I would not be able to sort of find anywhere else.
Okay. Just a gemstone of magic?
Basically.
Okay. Let's see what I got for you.
Seeing by chance if there's something that is rare, uncommon, that maybe have come across here or something like that.
Okay, hold on, I got you.
Also 2.5 buckets of emeralds.
They certainly have a large supply, but they're very expensive. Let's see.
Emeralds are very expensive.
They can be. There are a very prominent one here, but it's still buying emeralds. There's no weird, I'm not going to do economy inflation, but like, yeah, this is the city where they have 1 billion emeralds, so they're like $1. Like, no, sorry.
They're the most useless
What?
gemstone. There's no spell in the raw game that wants an emerald for anything.
Let's see. Yeah, they've had some, a lot of their gems, if you're looking for just a pure magical cut gem, they have a handful. You're looking for those or more like jewelry itself. Like cut gems faceted and socketed.
No, I'm looking strictly for a beautiful component.
Okay. Yeah, you're just looking for something magically touched.
Yeah, something to affix to something, like how the circlet of the sun that I still have has like that presumably diamond in the middle of it. Something in that vein.
So something that has magical properties, or something just can be used for magical properties.
Both.
Okay,
It has
they have
its
a
own
few of
magic
those.
and it can be used for magic.
They have a few that you would probably recognize among their wares. Something you've acquired, actually over in the desert. These very ornately cut compressed masses of what they call Zendalure, but created through magical means, known as Tears of Iyun. They have about 5 in stock, but they're only willing to sell them for 5,000 GP each. Besides that, they really only have so many things that actually have both magical properties to them and can act as components. The main one being probably their sort of pride, one of their prides and joys. It looks like a very ornately cut diamond, big enough to probably fit just in the palm of your hand, but it radiates magic if sort of held or probably unheld in the hand, as you see the person who cut the gem holds it, and after a few moments it seems to lift and levitate and swirl around them, as it seems like in their possession long since ago, it's a treasure of theirs. They have themselves a stone of Iyun, that which grants incredible intelligence to whoever binds themselves to it.
Are they willing to part with it?
For a certain well price, it's these treasures are often held as great artifacts of the elven kind. Probably no less than probably 15,000. It's powerful. It is potent.
We paid off the car loan, right, Luna? That would be like all of my money. 4,880. I'd have a little bit left over. That's not bad. That's fine. That's fine. What's in my safe? Hold on. Come back to me.
Come back to me.
Oh god, do you summon your safe? You bring about your
Do they have
vault?
mithril?
Hey, Mithril.
The same place.
Hmm?
Do they have plate armor?
They do.
Oh yeah, you already know what's about to happen. But it's
Do I?
adamant, so
What are you looking for?
I need mithril because it's lighter than steel.
It is.
Significantly
flexible,
lighter than steel.
Sure.
Swift Hollow says to Gizmo. And yeah, she'll buy significantly more. Probably
Let's
like
see.
a pound or two of mithril.
Let's see.
Because
With
it's so
Mithril,
light.
it is more available than that of Star Metal. It's again, a lot easier to buy and weight, but still has its value. It'd probably be worth about, it'd be 1,000 per pound, which is, still a lot of mithril because it's a pound.
Yeah, that's a lot of mithril. That's a lot of volume
It is.
because of how light it is. So yeah, she'll
Mhm.
buy 2 or 3 pounds of mithril.
Okay.
She'll buy 3 pounds of mithril too,
Okay.
which is a lot of mithril. All right, Gizmo, you know what to do.
I have a
Okay.
ton of money left. Sweet. No wonder you were like, yeah, you guys don't need any more money. Oh, my fucking
He
bank
knew.
account is fine. Yeah, because I fucking got 21,000 from the fucking winnings, and I only took 10K with me, and I put the other 11K in the bank, plus the remainder from the Dragon Horde. Jesus. All right, well, that's...
Yeah, we got
easy.
fuck you money now.
Mhm.
I have a lot of cash.
Did you subtract
Okay.
That's
what
why
I
I'm
took
going
for-
shopping for all these rare metals because I can.
Did you subtract what I took for the carpet?
What was your carpet total? I think I paid half, right?
Yeah.
That carpet was like 80,000 gold pieces.
How much was the carpet?
It's like 40,000 total. Buying your perpetually flying carpet.
All right, I'll take that into account and update my ledger. So I'd have a lot less money, but I'd still have some money left over.
Oh my god.
Oh man, they don't have like any like a wand shop or like a potion shop or.
They got everything. It's magic. They got potions. They got
Magic.
medical men.
Do they have like wands of like fireballs and lightning bolts?
They got wands, all right. They definitely have wands of powerful magic, but they're not often sold to the public of powerful magic because, I mean, come on, it's a bomb.
I know, but
You're selling artillery
Persephone's
pieces.
here.
Persephone's here. Buy a bomb.
Do you ask me?
Trump Jr. walks up and goes, "I want to buy a bomb." Like, no.
Persephone, two things. Number one, since your father already knows, am I fine with giving my full title?
My father is one thing. The citizens of Inolin are another.
That's why I asked. Number two, rumor has it that your city is very adept at magical creation. Do you think we could possibly see if they have sort of wands or potions of great power that we could use in our coming battles with the cult and whatever lies underneath Skyreach?
Yeah, this would be the perfect place to stock up before we go back to Mobia.
Sort of catching that.
Sir, do you have any wands?
Some of my snakes sort of look back and watch her mom's reaction to that statement.
She just sort of smiles a little bit, but I do see sort of a worried expression sort of spread across her face as she's just kind of listening in on what sounds to be the more, inner machinations of her daughter's party.
But no,
I'm sure you guys will be
reaction
fine.
to returning to Mobia.
Not really.
All right, so
All
I
right.
have like 9,000 gold left in the bank and like 1,000 left on me. That's not bad. How much money do you have left, Luna? Are you broke? We broke if I buy this?
Did our rich aunts finally go broke?
Let's see, I still have 3,000 that I need to get from the horde, which I assume probably
it's in your
to the
account
bank
at the
by
bank.
now. Yeah, and then I have in total 7,000 in jewels, about 9,000 in GP in the bank, and then like 150 platinum on me, and some other change that I don't care about.
Money!
Okay, then we'll be fine. I could blow 15k on an Ioun Stone of Intelligence. Can I actually identify it before buying it?
You certainly can.
I would hope you'd be able to.
Fake.
They could just tell you its properties if you want to know its properties.
Yeah, give me those properties.
Sure. Basically, it sounds as if those who attune to this thing will find their minds expanded and gifted by the first blessing they call of the Silent Mother. Your mind would expand, bringing your intelligence to almost the greatest possible height naturally known, in other words, 19. As well as while you are attuned to this stone, you can freely cast without spending spell slots, while also knowing the spell if you want to for whatever reason do it. Detect magic, as well as identify, as well as... There's one more. Where are you at? Boy, you up here. Oh, levitate. That's it.
Combination.
Damn.
Well, levitate's once per day, but you can still basically freely
Okay.
cast it. You can still cast spell slots on it if you want.
I thought it was literally the invocation. I was about to lose my shit.
No.
Just at will levitate.
You can just cast detect magic, identify, your int becomes 19, and once per day you can cast levitate. But you can still cast all those spells for a reason with a spell slot if you need to. For whatever reason.
And of course, it requires attunement, right?
It certainly does, baby.
Oh, these slots.
God.
Would they make an offer for my Ioun Stone?
You willing to sell it?
Would they be willing
For
to buy
them, if you're willing to share the Ioun Stone and probably reveal its properties that it is indeed an Ioun Stone, they'd be willing to trade for it. They'd probably appraise it with their own identifying magic to see that its power is about as comparable. they'd be willing to shift the price down from probably about 15,000, maybe about 3,000 in total.
I wouldn't trade it evenly. You can't swap stones.
Not quite as powerful, it seems.
Gotta make a profit. We're here running a business.
The best we can do is 20.
We're not a
20 gold
charity,
pieces.
lady.
Who is coming here to buy things?
The Fae.
They might sit on the show for a while. I don't know. I got a guy though. Let me call a guy.
I'm the one who enchants the stones that go placed on these buildings. You know when those lights come on when you walk by? I did that. I make those stones.
That's me.
This is a relic. I have it for luxury's sake, but I'm willing to sell it. Hey, you got a relic too? I'll trade you, but that relic sounds powerful. Doesn't make your brain grow, it just makes you live longer. I can already do that. I'm an elf.
Oh yeah, fair.
Your lifespan doubles though. You'd be 2,000 by the time you died.
That's true. But yeah, seems like in terms of raw magical power, which this person's measuring, other one's a bit more powerful. 3,000 gold would be the difference, but you'd be able to trade the stone.
Okay, but okay. So my final question then would be: has anyone else made offers for the Ayun Stone? Anyone else shown interest, or has it been sort of your crown?
It's been in the past. It's mostly been crown jewel collecting dust. It's been there, offered. People have it if they're willing to pay, because it's not a family heirloom necessarily. It's just a relic that's within the city. Willing to sell to people, willing to pay a big price, because you can do a lot of stuff with that money. But
Okay.
hey, get an Ayun Stone in return. Absolutely, same magical power, just slightly lower.
Okay, so that gives me some time to do some research into a very important question then. Because that's a lot of attunement slots. So I will just buy the 5,000 fucking big gem from earlier in the discussion. The 5,000 GP hyper gem that has its own magical properties or something.
Yep, basically just seems to have magic in it already. It's a very good component if used to either create or facet something. You can suck it out of it too. Good old thing to break down to make something.
I'll count out in my own flagrant display of immense Dragon Slayer wealth, 500 platinum pieces.
Sure. Okay.
I am good. Oh, I'd ask Persephone, can you people shape crystal into anything?
You find the right person. I'm sure we have gemsmiths that can handle it.
Even into something flexible, sort of turning back to the gemsmith. Or is it just jewelry and the like?
Are you wanting to be a flexible object? You can bend crystal. You can shape crystal so it becomes something more flowing in different shape. It can look almost like stone rather than crystal, but it's still crystal.
Can you form it into a weapon?
Of course, yeah. People make weapons out of crystals all the time. Sometimes fragile, but with magic, it becomes stronger.
All right, thank you. That's it. I'm done.
Now I shall live forever. Ha 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 ha.
What? Why?
As everything else, anyone else want to do something? Gold, are you looking for wands or magic sheet? Looking for potions?
Yeah. Do they have any necklaces with fireballs on them or?
Not for the public.
Yeah,
They're not selling bombs.
That's why I'm with Persephone.
Not gonna sell bombs to the Persephone.
To the Lord, got it. What about
you're
a wand
basically-
with magic missiles?
Yeah, they have some. They're
not a
basically
bomb.
they're using those for basically taking out pests. Simple magics like that are often used to chase down vermin. You have rats running around or birds flying too close, you can cast that. Don't have to worry about the birds anymore. Let's see. Yeah, hard to find hard-ass artillery magic shit in a magic city just because it's so available and easy to use. Anyone can do it and blow shit up. But magic missile wand, pretty simple to find. It's got some potent magic in it, but it's pretty capable. They'd say they're willing to sell it for about 5,000 GP, simply because the charge is inside. It can do some potential damage, but otherwise only localized for creatures and not particularly dangerous, although they would appear anyone from using it in the city against someone else.
Sure,
Mo-
I'll buy
it's-
it for 5,000.
It's more than selling a sword.
Do they have any potions?
Certainly do.
They have any potions
got
of
herb-
flying?
Let's see. They would have a couple, actually. Nice. There is a potion seller. A lot of them seems to be both herbalist as well as alchemist. A bit of a mix of the two. It seems the person who actually owns this tall wizard-like tower has seemed to blend both trades, allowing you to essentially maintain both the natural properties of herbalism as well as the strangely magical scientific properties of alchemy. And in doing so, sort of made a nice blend, selling both potions of healing and vitality as well as those of strange magical properties, a couple of them actually being potions of flying. Although, again, made of some considerable magic, they are a bit more expensive. They sell each one probably for about 1,200 gold.
Hmm. 1,200 gold. Okay. Sure, why not? I'll buy all 3.
2 of them.
Oh, 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. You get some 2 potions. It seems like inside there's some plumes or fibers of feathers floating inside and glittering. Confirm that if you drink this, these potions would grant you flight for at least an hour in a magical form. Anything else you want to look for?
I'm good with that.
Okay, cool. Anyone else do shopping, or are you just gonna move on to the next scene?
I'll do that.
My out for the gym boy and see if anybody's working with wood, but I'm not gonna be shopping right now.
Sure. Yeah, again, you'd see there are some architects here and there, but again, like as Lady Santis described before, and even Rail, it seems as if there are these men who don't come out with too much tools. They seem like they have belts full of components, and they use their magic to sort of actually guide the land up in forms of roots and stone to shape them around to either support or otherwise reinforce structures. And some of them actually use it to you'll see a small foundation of a building being built from your walk and your tour. And you can see the way they use it. They pull on some powerful magic to not break, but open holes in the stone, almost like a portcullis? Porthole. As they'll actually seem to use magic to shape it almost in a strange, natural way. Rather than being built on the ground, it comes from the ground. Yeah. You'd find them throughout the city. Anything you're looking for in particular, or just noticing them?
I'm just making note of.
Sure, yeah. Seem to be scattered all around the city. They're probably conglomerate at one main place where it looks like it's quite structurally well sound near the center of the Hardstone district, but otherwise, nope, their workers seem to be spread quite everywhere during these busy days. Okay, there's nothing else, y'all? Going once,
Do
going
shopping between sessions.
What's that?
I said I'll do shopping between sessions.
No,
Sure,
it's
that's
now
fine.
or never. It's a fire sale.
Yeah,
All right.
that's my thought of it.
That's fine. As you guys will basically give a full tour of the city. Sonatus will basically enjoy every moment, sort of spending with you guys, just getting to know some of you in your little quirky ways. Mostly just enjoying being with her daughter again. She'll catch up with you a bit, just showing some of the changes since you've been gone. Although not many of them exist here, as the elven cities are strangely, set in the stone, as it were. They hold their value and hold their strength for quite some time before simply fading to time, and are reinforced with the magics used to keep these walls strong as well as the buildings firm. And eventually, as the sun gets a little lower in the sky, afternoon comes, Rail would meet you guys back at the Emerald Chateau after the tour has been done, and it seems as if you need to rest your weary feet. Although many of you have traveled much farther than this, it seems as if it's time for a break, and you actually find at the Emerald Chateau, you guys would be greeted by a familiar-looking face, flowing with these dark robes and a smiling, sort of excited expression on his face, would be Oathlord Galleon, standing forth before you with open arms again, this time outside the presence of your father. Persephone would actually greet you with a hug. Okay, come here now. It's been
Just
far too long.
Run up to him and give him a big hug.
There we are. Oh. So it seems as if Rail summoned me with an intent in mind. Was that something you wanted? I assume more than just simply catching up, although I'd love to do that.
Well, I know it's a very sensitive subject, and I know the council has been working on this for a really, 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 really long time, but we do have some experience working with interplanar mechanisms. And it sounds like maybe the bridge needs a little bit of help getting going?
Are you wishing to offer your hand in the creation of a gate? I did not think you had such capability.
I know it's only been a year, but I feel like I've really grown 100.
You should tell your father that. He'd be pleased.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, it is currently kept under wraps for the time being. I'd love to see what you've learned, but it's a very delicate process, Belora. It's not too
Persephone.
certain. Persephone, of course.
I know it's delicate. And I can assure you, we've had to deal with similar matters before. We will handle this with the utmost discretion.
Or could you be so inclined as to simply give us a tour rather than accepting our assistance, as I'm sure you're quite capable?
As either of you roll me a persuasion check.
Either of
I'd go.
us.
I'm pretty good.
I give him all my laurels! Damn, wrong game.
I suppose. It would do no harm, although do not tell your father of this. He would be most cross if we betrayed this oath. But I do believe, as the royal lady and those who have apparently done great good for this city, should have a peek at the, I suppose, the grand opus of what will commence this wondrous little ceremony. Very well, very well. All of you come. We shall show you what we've been working on. As he will take you guys and lead you up north through, it looks like a pathway through the actual chateau itself, going inside the building and then out the back, towards what looks to be the final, less resting district against the stone, where a lot of the same people who sort of use their magic to bend the surroundings to build buildings, Tamarkan, also seem to be using the same magic to extract, sounds like, this strange diamond-based materials and Delure from the mountains. And as you guys approach this district through the first wall, you'd see there's a large, overgrown glade. It looks like a wildlife preserve of sorts, probably where the city breeds and grows and often nurtures its elk for the use of mounted travel. Although as he steps forward, you'd see him sort of put his hand against one of the trees and then sort of pass into and through it as the air and the object sort of wavers like a fabric until he just seems to meld into space and vanishes. And then sort of comes back with his head, "Oh, come now. Don't mind the illusion. It is simply for the sake of protection."
Right, of course. Persephone follows.
Swatala tries to see through it.
Stare hard at it. Give me a straight up int check.
Yeehaw.
Or I guess investigation roll, rather.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw!
17.
Ooh, as staring at this, 17. As you stare at this, it challenges your mind. You're seeing a fabric of a forest, and you realize, seeing the interaction, it should be true to your mind, but it doesn't automatically. You still see it as a forest, and you blink a couple times, and then with your utmost focus, it seems as if you could slightly pierce through the veil, and you can see there's still a forest there, still a small glade, but not quite as overgrown, not quite as crowding to the eye. And within, you can see it looks like the soft glimmer in the still daylight of what looks to be pouring water. As you guys soon would enter in after
Woohoo.
Lord Galleon.
Yeah, reliable talent got me on that one.
Hell yeah. Where you at? Where you at?
Quite
Yeah, you at?
reliable.
I am
Pulling
reliably
yourself-
investigative.
Ha 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 ha!
Through this fabric until you guys would find yourselves more or less pulled through into a still part of the city, but almost feels like another part of the world itself. You would see this, whatever illusion, this canopy of trees cast down this great shadow, almost like you're at night, but it seems as if it's simply the darkness covered from the trees of this great height. As these thick trees around you seem to also bloom into the ground itself, you watch as it looks to be a stream or something falling from the mountains behind the city have given way to soft running waters that lead down towards this corner of the city. Your steps gently splash against the ground and seem to grow a bit more fervent in its wetness as the stream billows and builds with more water. And across it, you can see this fervent life that seems to spring and emanate across the ground. Most noticeable by you, Persephone. Almost like a moss of sorts, as if a layer of thin, well-defined, lively green has spread across every rock and every stone and every log But along it, where you'd expect to find the small tendrils of this living lichen, you instead find small glittering pieces, almost like sand of sorts, but growing in crystalline form. There's crystals growing along every facet of this shape, every form that runs along here. This small pocket hidden away from the rest of the city is blooming with what feels to be magical life, until you reach sort of a precipice, a rise in rocks where the stream seems to have gathered into a small running pond, where it looks to be what would have been the base of a tree. Many long, thick, massive-sized roots reaching down from the pond, budding in and out of the water that now runs and babbles around its lake, until the center of which you can see a large shape, a massive standing made out of wood and stone that wraps around and on top of this base like a great scab. And centered on top of this landing is a great ornately carved piece of stone embedded with not only symbols of the arcane, but gemstones, diamonds, all sorts of glittering stars that reflect in this shadowy pool up towards you guys, standing quite tall, about 15 feet in height and 15 feet in diameter. A perfect circle of stone and gemstones. As you guys would enter this hidden glaive, finding yourselves following after Oath Lord Galleon, who seems to be stepping forth on top of the water, his steps gently padding across its surface, leaving ripples behind, but not seeming to dip into the lake itself. Wandering up the path. As you can see here, we've done quite a part in hiding this from the rest of the city. I suppose if anyone would have prying eyes or ill intent for Inalin, they would, well, imagine the worst would happen, as he would step up with a sort of gentle rising gale beneath his feet until he lands into the water again. But
Has
alas,
this always been here?
the glade itself has been recently touched with magic, but yes, it is an old and ancient part of this city. I suppose your father never told you. An ancient tree that once fell in times long ago. A predecessor to the Zendalorada. An ancient plant that pre-existed not only our city, but our people. What remains behind is a very important stance, a very important place. A stronghold for magic in the city and the nation of our people. It is here we decided that we would host the great powerful Fey Lady herself. And as you can see here, as he steps up into the platform, running his hand along this massive gateway, it looks like, it is the base we've been working on for quite some time, still somewhat incomplete. The bones are all here, you see, but we just need more power. As you look along this thing, Persephone, you see tiny, intricate elven writing written around the entire circumference of this circle. It seems like a giant, wheel of sorts, hollow in the middle. You can see the opposite side and the stonework and the lichen covers trees behind it, but look at the other side, it looks like it's just hollow on both ends. How this magic works, you can only imagine it's probably like the way other portals probably work. You see here? I've heard you had quite a fright in how this tear, you called it, would happen, but this magic exists. There is a great and mighty spell in this world, one invented by our people, simply known as the Gate. It is a mighty, breaching spell that requires an immense amount of power, but that power comes with control. That control allows you to safely aperture the veil itself. Not to tear it, not to strain it, but to contain it. This gate allows you to essentially facet itself to the veil once the magic is activated, and then once the facet has been opened, a safe portal opens between. There's a gateway between one world and the next. And then when the gate is shut, the veil is simply repaired with the same powerful magic. Quite simple, but quite complicated to establish as a lasting effect. I alone do not have the power to cast such magic, but with time and effort, we've put this together, and truly I couldn't be more proud. As he runs his hand along this line of symbols that you see gently glow. Of course, it cannot be activated without a proper key, that which your father holds. And of course, a command word. It is well protected and well guarded. I assure you that it would not fall into the wrong hands, and he would use it wisely. Does that rest your mind at ease?
How much strain does this put on the veil when you activate it, do you know?
That is what the gate is for. The strain it would cause, the rip and tear, it's like punching a hole through a piece of paper. This allows you to simply bend the paper itself. I suppose that's a terrible analogy. Paper doesn't bend, but magic allows it to. It allows you to take what is normally impermeable, unbendable, and what would tear, and permeate it, open it.
But, Othor Galleon, your subject, that which you wish to bring through, is she the only thing that could come through that gate? Her domain, hers alone. Problem
Perhaps.
with bending that paper, you see, is what may be on the other side of it.
Indeed. And that is why we have the key. See, we've taken great precaution here. If something were to try and use this for its own devices, all it would take is a word, or simply, I suppose, dismantling this, and the gate would fall apart. The key allows us to activate and close it at will. If something were to try and breach the veil, the key would be activated, gate would fall. Whatever power, I guess, force or negligence that might be causing this, or some ill will towards us, would simply fall away.
But your new queen lies on the Feywild, does she not?
She certainly does.
Her dominion cannot stretch across all of its vastness, that much I am quite certain of. I sort of have some of my snakes sort of look towards Tamarkan. But, forgive me, my memories of magic have waned over the many, many years. But that magic I am passingly familiar with. What's to
Indeed.
say? Nothing else can hitch a ride. Or deny
Again.
you.
It is possible. Something could close this. We've opened it before many times. It is how those quite jovial noble Eladrin have made their way in and out of our city. But alas, I assure you, it is the key that we hold. A very special artifact we have found into our possession, allowing us to use such magic to open and close this portal. It allows us to simply command it. If she wishes to not enter, I suppose she might have the power to close it herself, but to open it on her own? Unfortunately, that is what this apparatus is created for. Safety.
I see.
Where did you get this artifact?
It's been long since held in the Eternal Oath's hands.
Ah,
And there's just the
1,000-year
one
plan
key.
makes sense.
this 1,000-year plan, is it related at all to the previous union of Fey and Mortal?
It is certainly a factor. It seems as if the old Eternal Oath had fallen into a hard, stance, and caused quite some harm to the nation and the surrounding forest, but here, they did not have a gate as we had. They had truly themselves had actually tried to punch a hole through the veil, simply allowing things to play out with good hope, but without the proper caution. They were unaware of the dangers that could this cause. Alas, a key. The door may not be open, and destruction would be allowed to wander free.
And are we not worried about Queen Titania bringing more Fey life in with her? I
It is
think
like-
it's...
It is likely she shall, all under her command. But alas, allied with our people.
Ah, and whatever it is that she's getting out of this union is enough for her to be here and doing this, and the council is assured that she will not be taking advantage of these negotiations.
Indeed. The negotiations have already been complete, the conditions set, all things are aligned to go smoothly.
Remember, she's now going to be the ruler of an entire elven nation, whether or not these elves know it or not.
You certainly think so. We've already taken such precaution. Unfortunately, I cannot share the details of which, but you have my certainty.
You've taken precautions over the potential that you may be inviting a queen whom wishes to rule on her own and dissolve the council?
Indeed.
And she doesn't have to dissolve the council to rule on her own. If someone's a
Understandable that
problem,
she's
she
a
can simply
creature of
walk away
great
from.
power. She could simply sway her hand and we'd all fall, I'd likely assume, if she were of ill intent, though I have no reason to believe so. She is quite a kind creature in all nobility. But alas, again, precautions have been taken.
What happens if she breaks this oath?
She certainly cannot.
Why?
A bargain with a great powerful thing, it seems, is quite lasting.
So she can't break it. What?
The way he's
Indeed.
talking, does that phrasing sound familiar to me?
Certainly does. You've heard tales, even your own experience, that great and powerful things can be bargained with. Deals made between powerful creatures who swear their words, more than just simple words shared between mortals. Those of great power who swear themselves over, swear over great oaths, swear over great promises. Just as they can bend reality to their whim, Samantha Deus, a powerful creature making a promise can bend themselves to fit that promise. It is a great deal for something as powerful as this thing sounds to make a bargain, a deal, a pact, one might say.
And all of these precautions are made against Queen Titania.
Indeed.
She cannot break the oath.
She certainly cannot.
She cannot harm the council or the people of Illyrium.
Certainly cannot. She is a kind and benevolent queen.
Does that extend to her children?
I suppose if they become part of the council, it might. Though I do not truly see that as happening. They are quite unruly. I would not like them to rule.
Right. So, okay. So if it doesn't extend to her children, then her children can do whatever it is that they please. They've already started wreaking havoc in Innoland. I don't know if you met Lysarin.
Oh, so I misunderstood you. I thought you meant if she could harm them.
No.
No, of course not. If she is the ruler and she makes a word, I'm certain her children will follow suit. They certainly seem to obey her when they are within her council. It is when they are left alone that they become unruly children.
Right.
Ah.
And she will be the queen, and your brother will be the king.
Quite an honor for young Rael. I'm quite excited for him.
Can Rael break the oath?
I suppose it's possible. He is mortal. He is not bound as such.
The Fae can control people's minds.
It's possible.
What
But
happens
for this
if
bargain, no. I have no doubt he would be fine.
This is starting to feel really familiar to Luna. Can I tell if he is, in some way or form, dominated?
Roll me a really hard insight check, or roll me an arcana check?
I want to give you my inspiration, Luna.
Insight, because my Arcana is trash.
Oh!
Ooh.
Not much better than that.
As it does seem like his words are glowing and warm. Everything he says is glowing and warm. He seems quite well enamored with everything he's speaking about.
I telepathically say to Persephone, as you kind of hear this, you don't have the telepathic bond anymore, but you kind of hear this ghostly whisper in your ear. She says, "Remember what your teacher said about everyone being in love with Titania? This is what's happening right now." You can't respond.
Uncle Galleon, thank you so much for showing me this.
I hope I brought you peace of mind. You seem so worried.
Well, I've been adventuring for the last year, and it's not just as fun as the stories say. It's real life-threatening kinds of dangers, and well, the council says they have everything under control. If there's any way we can help, if there's anything that the council needs, the Valiant Vanguard is here to offer our aid.
It's so very kind of you. I cannot say for certain. Well, perhaps if you were to stay and keep young Rail company. He seems quite remiss having you gone, and now hearing you're back, it would do good to have him with you. As far as involvement goes, I will have to seek counsel with High Lord Kelon. He is the one in truly with a hand in this motion. I would hate to invite other players without his approval in his city.
Of course, of course.
And Persephone, I wish to say, he reaches out and puts a hand on your shoulder. I understand your concern. Your fear for your brother's happiness. I understand what that's like. Having someone quite close to you who feels they're given a great duty to perform, even if it's against their will. But Rael has taken this on himself, even if his hand feels forced. He has taken every action on his own. He has taken every precaution as well as we have. He truly seems, in our eyes, to want this. Even if it seems like he may be against it. He will not call off this wedding. He will not end this ceremony. Neither will your father. I believe the only person who possibly could would be, well, I suppose the Fae Queen herself.
Right.
Well,
Hey.
I would like to linger here, but I would fear Kalon would find us, and I would have much to explain for myself.
Oh yeah, there's only so long Mother can hide the fact that I've gone missing.
So it seems. Well, if you'd like, I can escort you back to the chateau. I believe hopefully dinner might be done by now. I hear they've actually caught quite a large goose, thanks to the magic of the Feywild. They grow quite big now.
Yeah.
As with that, unless there's anything else you want to do, you go back to the Emerald Chateau.
Yeah, no, Persephone's just going to follow along. And she'll nod over to Luna in acknowledgement of what was said to her earlier.
As evening would press on into the small city of Inalin, you guys would have your night together, enjoying dinner, unless there's anything else you want to do. We'll press on to another scene. Ooh.
I do want to confront Rael in the evening.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You're building to that. As Rael did want to talk to you later once all things were said and done. Sure, we can do that. As in... Ooh.
Actually, sort of getting a feeling for their interactions in proximity after, I guess, lunch then, if this is now dinner. Stephanie, it seemed like your brother had sort of an attendant or a bodyguard, someone you were quite close with, a handsome fellow with a sword.
Oh yeah, that's Zarin. An old friend of ours.
Perhaps during dinner, Luna and I could keep his attention so you could speak with your brother in private.
During dinner?
Yeah, when the timing is right. Dessert, drinks after, whenever. But it seems like your father did not want him to be left alone or from outside of the sight of his bodyguard. And that can be stifling to such productive conversations, can it not?
Yeah, I'll let you know if I need that. I think I might need something from you, though.
What?
Out of all of us here, you're the only one that had been an active noble. You know how these dinners work. You know how these kinds of people talk. And I've seen you. If anyone could navigate politics like somebody who's actually been in a position of power, it'd be you.
Certainly.
I'm not good with this sort of thing. You are. If we need somebody to navigate talking to the council, to persuade them to hear us out, or even let us in on a couple of their meetings, I might need your help with that. Either through your own voice, or maybe you can coach me? how to talk to them better?
There are certainly pointers I could give you when it comes to dealing with nobility, but looking at the situation as it is, Persephone, the council seems quite committed, as does your father. The weak points in this are your brother and Queen Titania herself. Though we can always probe the others, just to be sure.
Okay. So yeah, I'll let you know if I need a distraction for Theron. His mother used to run a stall in Moonlight Plaza. They used to sell geodes and gems. Not like the ones that were in the Diamond District. Ones that were more available to other people, the general public. You could probably talk
That's
about those.
something he's passionate about. I know if I start you on a conversation about the differences between different kinds of plants, you'll yabber on for hours.
I enjoyed it. Honestly, Samantha, we were friends when I was really little, and then we lost touch for a while. This is the first time that I've seen him in years.
Alright, well, I'll be sure to ask him the difference between quartz and, I don't know, Bellspar or
you could literally just ask him about me. I don't know, just keep him talking.
Of course. That I can do. So I pat Persephone on the head and keep walking after that.
Okay. Yep, then dinner would proceed. You'd find that the Lord has not joined you, it seems. According to Lady Santis, that he was still attending to his matters. It seems as if he had returned to the gate after some time, something when you guys weren't there. And seems as if the rest of the Holy Family is commencing with dinner. Again, nice giant roasted duck, about the size of a horse apparently, that has been neatly carved and seasoned and spread amongst plates, as well as it seems to be some seasonal wine to celebrate the return of, Lady Velora, now Persephone. But yep, you'd find yourself back at dinner if you guys are just having a conversation, do anything particular. Otherwise, someone goes to make a conversation, or you wait until after dinner. What are you doing? Are you doing after dinner or during dinner?
After dinner.
Gotcha. Heard two different stories going on. Cool.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, after dinner goes, unless there's nothing else you guys want to talk about here. Dinner would be subsided. You guys would actually be ushered and shown to a set of various rooms. It seems as if, assuming each one of you wants your own separate bedroom, it's quite large in size, almost like the size of, about half the size of like the Fallen Horse's sort of gathering area. Room for plenty of furniture and the like, with beds and dressers and all sorts of lovely abodes. A bit much for even that of elven society, but it seems as if these are the guest rooms. They are given plenty. With, of course, Lady Velora being given her old room. Still grand in size. A bit slightly outgrown in last year, but otherwise still about as pristine as you would remember it. But otherwise, Rael would be actually seemingly still joined by Theron. It seems as if he has been told by his father to complete some tasks, spending the day with his sister instead, having to put his responsibilities off to the evening, and he'd also be joined by Theron in the room. What you guys are looking for, if you're trying to do destruction is.
Yeah, I noticing that Theron's going to be firmly by Rael's side, I do give Samantha a nudge. I send my hummingbird to her.
Sure.
As I would sort of take a few moments during the after dinner, getting comfortable in our room, to bring Luna in on what it is I'm working on with Persephone, and see if she would be willing to help me keep the bodyguard distracted.
What's what exactly? I mean,
Conversation.
how are we gonna get him? I don't know. He seems like a very noble guard. I don't really think it's gonna be all that easy to pull him away from Rael.
Are you saying you can't do it?
I mean, I probably could, but like, I don't know. We can try.
There we go. That's the spirit. If he shuts us down hard, then poor Persephone will have to navigate her way out of the weeds, but she's a druid, she can figure it out. As the hummingbird, I guess, would arrive, and I'd say, oh, I suppose that's our cue. I hope. Are you Persephone? I sort of just reach out and poke the hummingbird.
A little bit of feathers fall off its body, and you see one of the feathers sort of fizzle away into a spark.
Okay, well, that's definitely magical. Okay, well, let's go to our room then. I think it was down one of these holes, as we'll make our way to Persephone's room.
Spirit can lead you back. It's okay.
Okay. As if you would find Theron Real retiring for the night, bidding you sort of a soft adieu. Persephone really wants to talk to you, but has other things he has to attend to. Theron following after him up towards his room. You guys gonna pull him away, distract him? What are you guys doing? What's the plan here?
I'm asking Rail if maybe I can join him. Is it council work? You know, like we used to just sit in the same office while we studied our scrolls.
Yeah. That should be fine. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
As he would lead you in, walking towards the room, you'd see Luna and, I guess, Samantha sort of cutting him off and along the way.
Yeah.
Oh, Theron, we needed to talk to you.
What about what? I'm have to go escort the young lord to his room.
It's
I'm
just
pretty
up
sure
the
you can find
hall,
us
isn't
home.
it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can find us way home. We really need to talk to you. It's kind of really, really important, really dangerous.
Dangerous? What's going on?
You're going to want to hear it, Theron. But don't worry. Rel is in the protective care of a dragon slayer.
Yes, it's something that only really you can handle. It seems our knight has been indisposed. We need your assistance, please.
Right. Sure. I'll be back in a bit, Rail. I guess I'm gonna go do something dangerous. Oh God, I hate dinner. As he'd follow after you guys, slipping away from the Thespia siblings.
It seems as so I have lost my dear retainer, and I can't find him anywhere. Because I'm going to go on a wild goose chase because I know where he is, but we're going to go away from that inn.
We believe
Oh
that
my
maybe
God.
the wildfire man maybe took him. He's a half orc, and he would definitely stand out in this city, and perhaps be
God.
taken as a peculiar something quite peculiar, rather. Some words are hard to put through the Samantha filter. All right.
Right. He wouldn't. Wait, if it's not many orcs around here.
Exactly.
Men, we're going to do a quick sweep of the city. Look for a young man. Make sure he's not near. You said that the Wildfire Prince is still contained. He's not. Right. Okay. Let's go find a young man right quickly.
Oh God.
As a number of armed guards will be going up to the city to go look around for a young half-orc. But you know is back at the inn you left him.
Poor Brand.
I'm going to kind of write a note secretly and summon my little imp familiar, give it to him, go invisible, and go. Oh, I don't know where the inn is. I wasn't there. Go look for Bran. Try to find him before the guards. He's in that area of the city.
Use your spook guy. Your spook can run through buildings.
That not
Yeah, but
familiar?
he can't go invisible, so you just be running.
You also put a note in him and it just falls out of him.
I figured if he was holding it, he could still have it.
Yeah. After that, you see the tiny little twisted creature, infernal in nature, twists and unfurls into nothingness, and then you can hear yourself fluttering away. Your invisible, devilish messenger bird, as you would have.
Oh, and if it finds Brad, it just tells him, just stay hidden. We're doing a bit. Just
doing a bit.
Don't talk to any guards for the time being.
Seems like
Stay out
he's
of sight.
somewhat, hunkered down in one of the inns. I feel like he's paid for himself a room. A bit next, apparently. Actually, no, he's had his room paid for apparently by a generous elf who also used it to sort of stifle the sounds of construction within another room, somewhat padded and as it seems like he's been a neighbor to little Gizmo, as he's probably quickly quite find him in one of the inns as he's sort of just minding his own business, kind of wondering what's going on out in the city. Is everything okay? I haven't heard fighting. Heard there was a fire, but otherwise just kind of hanging out by himself.
Yeah, I'd certainly I'd lie to Theron saying, we hadn't given him his stipend yet, so he doesn't have any money, so we don't think he'd be anywhere, that would require that.
Right.
But thank you, so much for helping us. But we do, apparently. Well done, Luna.
Or Bran.
Oh,
Keep track of your pets.
If only I brought the kobolds, could you imagine?
Yes. Yes,
As
I
we'd
can.
find Rail in his exorbitantly sized room, you'd see he seats himself at his desk. Familiar position, there's another soft chair that he actually pulls back, seemingly long since held in the spot you used to sit in, Persephone, next to him as he goes through what looks to be a set of scrolls. This time, much fewer in number, but the writing on them in Elven is much more condensed and smaller. Older text, it seems like he's scrolling over. As he'll seat himself down and just sort of look over to you, and just kind of smile. This is kind of nostalgic, isn't it?
Is it history lessons again?
As I crawl into the chair and lean over to the desk.
No, actually, it's proper Sylvan tongue I'm learning. I'm, trying to learn how to speak more, I don't really know how you call it, more noble in that language. You were always kind of good in learning that, but I think I'll need it more.
Oh, right, you would. Well, the thing you need to know about Sylvan is it's kind of like singing for the most part. The language itself is within a rhythm. And sometimes it's not necessarily the words, it's the intent and the inflection.
Yeah, the inflection. Right. Persephone, Laura, why did you come back? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. That's wrong. I'm happy you're back. I'm happy to see you again. But
If I tell you why I'm back, will you tell me why you're doing this wedding?
no, I'm doing it.
What does she want from you?
It's stupid, really. I can tell you right now. In this moment, he's gone. I'll tell you, but you have to listen to everything I have to say afterwards.
Oh god, this must be really stupid.
It's your best now.
She wants the love of a true noble heart. Apparently something she greatly treasures. And it seems I fit the bill. I have been well groomed, kept within the walls of Inalin. I have not since left or filled my head with solid ideas. I have kept myself true to my word and my position, and as a result, she finds a soul such as mine to be fitting as a mortal husband. And I am willing to accept that, as stupid as it is, because it means that you will be free. You have always fought, Father, on everything. You are not meant to be here. You are not meant for this city or this life. You're meant to be Persephone. You're meant to be out there exploring. Remember our dreams? Remember when we used to talk about seeing the sea? It's so big, there's so much salt in it that no salt trader could gather or sell it all in a lifetime, or 10 or thousands of them. But we don't get to see that together. We don't both get to see that. That is not our life. We are the royal family of Inalin. Either we are both here, filling this position, or one of us is. And you escaped. And I was heartbroken, but I was never happier for you, hearing that you got to leave and you were safe and you were seeing wonderful things and you were making wonderful friends. And I want you to keep living that wonderful life and making more wonderful friends and seeing things I will never see. Because I'm doing this for you. So you can. I don't want you to stay and get trapped again. I don't want him to have more reasons to twist your arm as he's twisted mine. Because he will. Because I love you and you love me. And I know if given the chance, you would save me. But then it means everything I would do for you would be in vain. Please just... Persephone, Velora, however you want to call yourself. Just go live your life for me. Go see the ocean. I just want you to live free.
I reach out a hand and put it over his and just give his hand a squeeze. Well, then it's going to be very awkward when I tell you why it is that I came here.
Oh gods.
I know what you've done for me. Mother told me. How after I left, all the work that you've taken on. And yes, Rael, I am happy. I haven't been so happy in so long, and I want that for you too. You also deserve this. You deserve to make your own choices. If it's to marry Queen Titania, it's because you want to marry her, not because you're doing this for me, not because... It is the difference between us being nobles and being noble. So as silly as Queen Titania's desire of you is, I understand what she means.
I don't know what you can do about it, though. Even if you were to try, Father will not concede. I will not put you in that position where he would turn the same onto you to save me. I don't know what you can do to stop this.
I don't know either, but that's why I'm here a month before your wedding.
Suppose you came ready to try anything.
I've been planning this for months.
So you've known for a while, then?
I heard a rumor a couple months ago, and shortly after we had slain a dragon, I started to get really worried. I hadn't heard anything, and I know Illyria likes to keep its business quiet, but I also knew that the council was going to be meeting soon, as they do every decade. So I started to get curious and look a little bit into it myself. And what was going on with you, what's been going on with our family, and seeing what it is that I can learn about your soon-to-be wife.
I've spoken to her once, you know. It was
What?
strange. Well, yes,
You've spoken to her.
the gate. It is, she's not powerful enough to cross over, but her voice can carry through. She's very kind, very, very gentle. But there's something strange about it. She's very... I feel as if there should be more to her voice, more power behind her, but she reminds me a lot of, I suppose, of a young girl, really. She's quite simple. It's strange. Perhaps that's why what she wants is so simple. But if there's anything you can do, anything you can try, she's the only person who you may be able to convince to call this wedding off. But to do that would mean waiting till the portal is finished, or to speak with her.
Do you have to activate the portal to speak to her?
Well, it must be active, yes. You require a certain device that Father has, and the particular word, I don't know it, but something to activate it. Something he pulls close to him. He's been in control of it, but... Well, if his children get through, perhaps... Well, no, you don't go there. Do not do that, no.
Don't do what? Become best friends with her children and see if I can convince them to get up to a little bit of mischief?
That? Oh, that might be the safer option, actually. Yes, do that, please.
What is it I shouldn't do? Because, I'm adventuring with a very dynamic party.
The gate
we
cannot
need to
allow
go.
Queen Titania through, but her children can.
Her children
It is a
can.
doorway
Right.
to and from the world. It is a doorway. Those who come in can enter our world. Those in our world can enter theirs. If she can pass through here, I believe the ceremony will be complete. But if not you, maybe someone else, a guardian. Someone who maybe could withstand whatever dangers the Feywild offers, could venture out in to go find her, speak with her.
I've heard stories of what it's like crossing into the Feywild. Some say time works differently there. I'm not going to worry about that right now. You want me to go to the Feywilds to speak to Queen Titania myself?
I don't want you to do that at all.
Wink.
But if you were a capable adventurer, I was not a caring brother, if I was not so worried about you, I would say you could. You would have all the capability in the world as a dragon slayer to do so, but I cannot ask you to do this. A lord would never ask his sister to do this.
I understand. It's a good thing I don't really listen to lords.
It is your strength, Persephone. But to do this, you're going to need to accomplish something quite challenging. You're going to need to steal the key. Are there any... dragon slayers are not particularly talented at...
Persephone has a mischievous grin that
I'm
stretches
sorry,
across her face.
stealing?
Tamar
Can't
swings in.
believe there's such a thing.
Yeah, Tamar just like his
I
head
think
just
it's
like
reappropriate.
Just drops into the conversation, banana in mouth.
Yeah, you.
Thievery! Oh, I'm ashamed. Here's the key.
Well, it's a key, you said, but also a word. Something that Father keeps closely, so even if we got the key, we'd need the word.
Yes, that's going to be the challenging part. It's something he's kept secretive, even from the Eternal Oath, though I believe he'll try to share it the moment the ceremony takes place. He's told it to me once, but it was in a tongue I did not understand.
Was it at least Sylvan?
I believe so.
Okay, so
That's all I can offer, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You've done more than enough for me, Rael. Our whole lives, you have continuously covered for me. continuously. It's my turn to cover and worry about you. And I promise, whatever it takes, I'm going to get you out of this.
Thank you, Persephone. And he'll just like sort of push himself off his desk and just give you a big hug. And he just sort of like presses his head against yours, and he just keeps hugging you and hugging. As it seems as if a pact in its own way has been made, a plan brought into light. This one sliver in this seemingly sounding too perfect plan within the city of Inalin has been enacted. But within there is a small sliver of hope, something that perhaps the Valiant Vanguard can offer their services to, a chance to end things amicably, though it seems only to do so not within the realm of the stubborn king or an overprotective brother, but rather in the far-off realm beyond the world, that which lies beyond the veil itself, that which is home to one of the members itself. Will they be able to accomplish this task, to steal the key to the Fey Gate and enter the world, to speak with a queen as often regarded as a goddess? Perhaps the task may be proved to be too much for them, perhaps the journey too strong. But nevertheless, we'll have to find out next time on the next episode of The Song of Rapture.
Can I insert a closing scene?
Ooh. Go for it, baby. Insert it!
As we find our lodging,
Right in there.
as it gets late at night, Swift Hollow, hear a knock on your door.
Swift Hollow knocks back in a rhythmic fashion.
Swift Hollow, do you want to get into some mischief tonight? I can show you a place.
I suppose.
Wonderful. I think you'll fit in quite well.
As she opens the door, and you can already see she's out of her noble gown, her hair is down. Oh, this is the Swift Hollow, you know. You recognize her black cloak.
She's
She already
covered in
has everything.
knives.
She's already covered in knives. Oh god,
I was
there's so much
ready for
blood.
this.
Why is there so much blood, Swift Hollow? What have you been up to? Oh god, oh fuck.
Covered in blood.
Don't worry, it's not mine.
Oh, it's definitely not mine.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, just the
Yep.
let me get into some nonsense. Gotcha.
As it seems as if the apparently dynamic duo, the new members of the Valiant Vanguard, have found themselves a new bit of trouble to get themselves in, or perhaps maybe just a bit of fun.
And then even more trouble, it sounds like, because what's this? We need to steal a key. Fine, we'll pick up our 2 thieves and throw them at the
No,
problem.
I'm reporting Persephone to the guards for trying to commit a crime.
And we need to
Obviously.
figure out the magical secret Sylvan word
Password.
from Daddy. Well, I know I'm
Boobies.
going to try.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be really interesting how this shakes out. I am curious because there's at least 3 parts of this that I see that just have to work. Otherwise it doesn't work anymore. But we shall see how it goes on future episodes of Song of Rapture. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with us for this stretch of time for our wonderful little game. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and I hope to see you again. There's always more D&D to be had right here on Lionhead Gaming in just a few days. I'm so excited. We're going to be coming back this Sunday for more Heroes of Thylea as a miracle has just started to be performed. And it seems like the storm up above is not too happy about that. And we'll have to see whether or not the Oracle is chosen alongside a retinue of requested hands, including an old hero of Valis herself, the Goddess of Wisdom, will be able to hold off the waves upon waves upon waves upon waves of elementals that will be trying to put a stop to this process. And, we're also going to rock out and enjoy some sick tunes from the goddess of music as she channels the power of 4 gods into one and hopefully inspires the city of Mitros to remember who they are. So be sure to tune in this Sunday for what is sure to be one of the wildest fights I've ever DM'd at 5 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll be coming on back this upcoming Tuesday, right?
Oh,
Are we on this week?
did I say we were off?
That's fair. I don't
Tuesdays
believe
we
so.
don't really take breaks unless I just hate you all and I say fuck you guys, we're taking a break. And gals.
Gotta be inclusive.
Yep.
Yeah, this Tuesday on the 10th, we'll be back for some more Kingdoms of the South as we are just coming off the heels of shaking off, it seems like, some memory modification or a host of charms and enchantments off of a poor little tiefling princess who's been bewitched to either misremember or obscure the truth from her eyes as she has screamed and collapsed and been carted off by a small, fast, wonderful little man named Milo. And we'll have to see what the truth really is, where the answers in the city of Lin Vanashi lie, and whether or not we'll be able to get to this crazy water temple, solve this whole issue, figure out what's going on there. So we'll find out this Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and then hopefully be back in time this Thursday for more Song of Rapture as we get into the thick of things, that which cannot be asked for, if you will, for Persephone's brother. But that's all I got for you, and with that, I want to thank Roll20 so much for sponsoring Song of Rapture. Their support is greatly appreciated. Check them out if you need a virtual tabletop solution in these trying times to play some D&D or any other game of your choice. It supports a multitude of systems. A wonderful little client that even allows you to look upon your friends' faces, the beautiful, beautiful faces, and interact with them both with voice and video, and a powerful set of features, along with API support from the community. So be sure to check them out if you haven't.
And if you're a pro, you get free shit every month.
Yeah, you do. That is something new they just started, is giving out some great art assets, some tokens I believe they just gave out this month.
Although they used the wrong word. They said the C word. They can't use the C word. They use the
What's the
cold
C
word.
word?
They're not allowed to use it.
Where is Roll20 even based? Maybe they're in a cold state. You don't know.
No.
They're like the mountains. What if they're based in Colorado? I feel like that's cold.
No, that's just snowy and smoky.
What? That's just snowy? All right. Well, with that.
Snow's not cold. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Hey, 30 degrees is way different than negative 50. Just saying. It's like an 80-degree swing.
That's technically true. So that's all we've got for you, though. I'm going to go ahead and share the love with one of our wonderful partners, Paradise RPG. It's been a while since we hosted them, so we'll go ahead and host them. Be sure to give them some love. And, as always, may your dice roll 20s, and you always make your saves.
Lady, y'all.
Craft 3, where you could make whatever you wanted on the map, and then once everyone made what they made, they could roll.